My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. See thepatternofconduct.wordpress.com.
It is Saturday, April 2nd, 2022. It's currently 1:13 in the morning. I'm documenting what is the entity's fifth time flying over, and this is audibly. The entity is engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. So this is state surveillance that is underway as the government is engaging in ceaseless stalking by helicopter. What the entity is doing is, for the fifth time, amplifying the sound of helicopter, flying down over at low elevation and repeatedly doing so in order that I visibly witness it. And this is the communication of a terrorizing threat. And this is the entity that is monitoring documentation. So I want to document that. It's 1:13 a.m. in the morning. And this is the fifth time that the entity has done that while I'm at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. And this is not including the incident while I'm at the Fontana Metrolink train station, as I documented getting on the bus driven by the Latino male. As I finished providing my analysis, as I stood at the Fontana Metrolink train station under the fake sun, being molested with directed light while the people were monitoring, the entity immediately sounds helicopter activity, and I board the bus on surveillance camera, and I spoke to that when I got on the bus. The entity immediately sounded helicopter activity, and while I was documenting license plates, I also documented what the entity was doing, flying over Sierra by helicopter. That would be the sixth time. So I just want to document while I'm here at the Ontario Museum, the entity is repeatedly flying over, stalking, harassing, and terrorizing by helicopter. And I want to be clear, this is what the librarians that are monitoring and stalking in the bathroom, that are engaging in what is terrorism, while they are engaging in demonic conduct of stalking with noise, while engineered light is all over the walls, while the entity's fake sun is over that venue. This is the government that they are stalking and monitoring with. And that's exactly what you are going to federal prison for. As the entity is continuously stalking and terrorizing in this manner, as I'm documenting, this is the groundwork for what is the prosecution of the people of the state. They are a part of this very conduct that I am documenting before I get to that Fontana Lewis Library, while I'm there, and as I leave. It's the same exact P.O.C. It is currently 1:15 a.m. and I want to document that. And this is, again, Saturday, April 2nd, 2022, and this is the P.O.C. 7:15 a.m. It's 7:14 a.m. It's about to be 7:15 a.m. It's currently 7:14 a.m. and I want to document what is the ongoing use of what is the train. And again, this is prosecution of what is Union Pacific, that company, which is a train that is documented frequently crossing path on the train tracks. But you are also understanding what is demonic activity and the entity engaging in what is the audible activity of that which is reminiscent of a sound of the train, while Union Pacific is both on the train tracks and not on the train tracks. What the entity is doing is, and it's 7:15 a.m. right now, the entity amplifying the sound of a train, doing so repeatedly over the throughout the course of the night, which the entity does on a daily basis. It is audible activity in engineered light. Union Pacific engaging in what is terrorism and stalking, monitoring in concert with the state that is present, and stalking by helicopter as well with the people of the state. They're monitoring incessantly while the entity uses that ongoing massive method of facilitation while audible activity is created through the use of the sound of a train. It's currently 7:16 a.m. and I want to document that. The entity engaging in this as a method of what is harassment as well, engaging in the same conduct that the entity uses to engage in not just monitoring but harassment, while sleeping, using that as a method of stalking with audible activity. And it is attributed to what is the company Union Pacific, who is documented engaging in what is stalking using a train and stalking with audible activity using a train. It is currently 7:16 a.m. P.O.C. 7:28 a.m. 6 VDR 550, monitoring pursuant to the audible activity. Union Pacific is the creator of what is amplified audible activity and engineered light. This is demonic activity that company is engaging in. You have a minion that's standing at the bus stop in order to surround a relevant position as well. This is state surveillance underway using the sound of the train. This is what the entity is doing all night long at the museum. B&G Plaza is monitoring to the audible activity creation, and this is what the entity is doing incessantly. And then as I began recording, immediately stopping the sound of the train. That's what it was doing earlier as I documented at 7:14 a.m. This is the reality of what is demonic as opposed to an actual train. The operator of a train is not coincidentally starting and stopping train activity as you seek to, first of all, operate your phone. That's the demonic pattern of conduct where you're under surveillance. 71503Z1. 53313F1, 5BXW095, 8XGN780, 7RBS821. And this is in concert and on behalf of that demon-possessed public entity, the state of California, that is stalking by helicopters, okay? Engaging in what is highly disturbing and terrorizing stalking activity of an American citizen while practicing the satanic targeting system in concert with the people of the state who are of that exact same condition. This is demonic. And they are in what is a demonic environment. And that is what I've shown you, what is the directed light. This, which is engineered light serving a criminal purpose, is that which is demonic at its core. All right, license 8WDG374, the conduct of this engineered light, the intent of the government, what it does with this engineered light while placing you under surveillance. This is all demonic. It's inspired by that which is of the demonic. It is literally criminal activity that is perpetrated by Satan as it's providing what is an ongoing environment. This is how you have the scientific impossibility of the fake sun, as I've shown you, as what is directed light that is covering surfaces, just sitting in the middle of the street, placed on buildings. As I've shown you videos and images of, you have inexplicable light that's just on surfaces. That's the demonic. And you're witnessing, first of all, what is an environment that is via the provision of literally Satan itself. It's demonic activity. It's a demonic environment, and it is achieving what is criminal. All right. And companies such as Union Pacific are engaging in the intentional maintenance of that environment, monitoring documentation, doing so with the government that is terrorizing not only through an environment where they are intentionally present and acting pursuant to the demonic demonic agenda, which is criminal as well, interstate surveillance, interstate stalking, 6H55179. It is that which the entity is continuously doing again while monitoring documentation. 7RGN328, 8NJE800. And again, this is at B&G Plaza where I'm at now, and the entity is following with that creation of audible activity, and it's 7:32 a.m. And Shiro's Liquor is monitoring relevant position, 7HCM281. And it is 7:32 at the bus stop in front of the B&G Plaza right now. That is P.O.C. Andy's Burgers crossing path. One of their minions just dragging a bucket. That's audible activity and engineered light while they are crossing path. Okay, this is the same thing that they were doing while the Ontario police are demons. All right, they were creating massive light activity outside of Andy's Burgers a couple nights ago, and in engineered light, that demon was dragging a trash can. It's audible activity and engineered light, and I took a picture of that while he was in the drive-thru, that Latino male, and he crosses path again while Darwin is group stalking, standing by me while I'm in the parking lot, and they're all manifesting light. That demon is using a trash can, crossing path with noise. That's what that trash can represents. This is what they're doing inside of the Fontana Lewis Library, and I'm showing you the demons that are pushing trash cans. They are representing methods of audible activity creation. That's what they're doing in engineered light. All right, that's what Andy's Burgers is doing while I'm walking through the parking lot, and the entity is moving a fake sun, keeping it in alignment with me as I'm in motion. It's currently 7:33 a.m. It is Saturday. This is P.O.C. It is April 2nd, 2022. License 3RLU447, 6W11160. 8DQT 685. 5TWG 785. 8CED 596. 779 162. 8CPY 371. 4RBM 432. 7VLH 331. 7:34 a.m. I'm sorry, 6BDT 701. Crossing path at the Oscars barbershop. By merely moving their vehicle, they're creating activity. The entity is aiming direct light all over the parking lot. They're monitoring. They're in the B&G Plaza and they're monitoring. I already identified the venue. It's every venue inside of that larger picture, which is the B&G Plaza. That's a venue in and of itself. But I want to be clear. Oscar's Barbershop, the meaning moving their pickup truck is creating activity in doing so. They are monitoring by merely moving their vehicle in that parking lot and group stalking with the minions who are pacing in traffic and pacing on the sidewalk, walking around. All right, I just want to document that. 7:35 a.m. 7BIJ 687. You're understanding the significance of what everything that minions do in an environment that is conducive to monitoring with communication devices. Moving around in engineer light, this is the objective of the Demon of the Vest. License 8BEY051. That's what making loud noise inside of the computer lab while directed light is being aimed into the computer lab. And it also shows your identity. You're a demon doing that. And that's relevant to the prosecution for terrorism. 2997125. That is UNFI. The license 1WG5159 is on the back of that large truck. 8M89877. Monitoring with the entity that's stalking by planes and helicopters. All right, that is documentation of what is Ontario Airport, a state facilitating venue where ongoing surveillance is documented as well. It's the P.O.C. The entity is engaging in nothing other than pacing in airplanes, going to and from the Ontario Airport, which is no form, going beyond the airport. It does not matter where, you can claim whatever you want. You're stalking in a plane. 8WYV343, you're crossing path. 8CZS 889. And they like to do so while they listen to me document as well. 7PWU 972, 8XNT 939, 5NFL 916, 5BEB 993. That's why they're hovering over the B&G Plaza, and the fake sun is hovering as well. 8SWH173. It's 7:37 a.m. 8EBK 742. 6PNX 418. 6WVH 096. 7YVA 911. 8EAB 559. 7FJM 685. 6MNS419 51580F2 6ZDU 246 6PXT 619, excuse me. Zero 7264D3. You have a third party crossing path with a large truck, directed light in my direction across the street while they do so. License 8SSY721 is a demon the same, and also engaging in terrorism with that third party who's going west on Hope Boulevard, and directed lights coming across the street in the direction that is south across the asphalt toward me while that demon's driving that large truck. These are demons that are monitoring together. 8EPZ449. HGS239, 8PRW233, 4LLB355, 07563E1, I believe, ALEX LG7, 8TGF569, 5D20917, 7LWM715. It's 7:41 p.m. Excuse me, 7:41 a.m. That minion is that last license plate. That minion is on surveillance camera inside of the B&G Plaza, entering in through the driveway. At Andy's Burgers, group stalking at that venue. 7FCM154, and it's 7:41 a.m. license plate. I can't really see that one. Seven WFL 448, 7ET. I'm sorry, 7EIT 900, I believe. Eight ABC 372, 7NUE 915, 8 NDW 639, CB 70D28 paper. Ontario Police group stalking with their lights on traffic cameras at Euclid and Hope Boulevard at 7:42 a.m. They're crossing path. License 7HCH026. That demon is monitoring with the Ontario Police, and that's pacing. They're driving in opposite directions. Bus number 2350, Omnitrans 1545. I can't see the last three characters of that bus. It's going westbound on Hope Boulevard, monitoring as well with Ontario Police, who turn on their lights as they drive from Euclid Avenue onto Hope Boulevard, going in the direction west. It's bus 2350 that's stopping at Lemon and Hope Boulevard right now. 7:43 a.m. License. They're funny when they remove their license plates off their car. License plate 8TVP303. 8 U.S.V 497. 6L 13062. In case I did not read that one already. That's amplified audible activity. This is demonic activity that you're witnessing, in other words. And it's occurring through what you can hear. All right. In addition, the fake sun is hovering over Shiro's liquor, and demons are crossing path on the street around me, and those are whose license plate I'm capturing and whose images I'm capturing. It's 7:44 a.m. License 8KLW 489, 8WO5 484, 8RWN 978, 66875. I'm sorry, 66785 X2. 8WOG 374, 7Y 10223. 8POU 854. License 7M80426. The demon that you see standing behind me at the bus stop, this is the female. I'm showing you what is light activity creation while this demon stands beside me and is moving her head back and forth. She's pacing and she's creating activity while she does so. License 7LJ8318. And she has, again, what is an elongated shadow. She's standing in engineered light, intentionally moving around in engineered light, just group stalking at a bus stop, okay? Monitoring with the minions whose license plates I'm reading. Monitoring with the minion that's going to be prosecuted for that criminal conduct. It's a criminalization of demonic activity. That's what Union Pacific is engaging in while you're listening to this amplified sound of a train, while a light source is hovering over and while engineered light is molesting. It is 7:46 a.m. 8NW, I can't really see that, you can scratch that. Eight BHB 618, 7P35119, 7HPD 056, 8DFA 590, 8ALU 297, 8XPY 103, 7URB 350, 7URZ 253. It's 7:47 a.m. 6VYG 535, 5YLP 089, 6VNX 342, 26402E3, 72191B1, 6CYE 925, I believe. It's an old Toyota Camry. It's 7:48 a.m. Not only have I've already captured the video as of late, during daylight savings time is what I mean, getting on the Omnitrans bus at 7:49 a.m., 7:51 a.m., and the entity is keeping its fake sun directly in alignment with me, as I've shown you, even as it is subduing that fake sun. And this is supposed to be the appearance of clouds over the equally fake sun, meaning it is impossible. That is in maintaining perfect alignment with me starting in the morning at the location that I'm at, the B&G Plaza, whereas I'm showing that where I've documented my departure from this location, my maintaining presence at a different location, meaning Economy Inn, as I documented last year, being in the vehicle outside of 630 North Fern Avenue, 7CWF 797, 6RBF 671, and 5UNC 168. These are documented locations where I remain, and the entity was doing the exact same thing, and it is also occurring, that which I've documented, during what is the exact same time, as I remain at those venues where I would not be able to see, and the light source would not be perfectly aligned with me, maintaining presence over my head and remaining over me as I leave from this bus stop. 8BQY525, 8MGV 675, I believe, 7GEV 060. The entity keeping this light source over me at the B&G Plaza, whereas as I documented even before daylight savings time, leaving from the museum, walking to Upland, California at that time, remember that? 7YJ8175, getting up at 6:30 in the morning, 6:45 in the morning, showing you the fake sun that's in alignment with me as I'm walking north of Euclid Avenue is in no way going to be seen. I wouldn't be able to capture the picture and the videos of the fake sun over me in alignment on at 4th sector at the intersection of D Street and Euclid, while the entity is necessarily moving its fake sun. I would not be able to capture it while it's remaining over the Shiro's Liquor, while at this time and during this time I'm going to Fontana. All right, the entity was moving its fake sun, which I documented, 6:44 a.m. at the El Pescador restaurant at Euclid Avenue and G Street, 6DRL226. This is what the entity was doing with its fake sun. And this is also what I reminded you of as I posted my video. For example, this is just last week, getting on at 7:49 a.m. and 7:51 a.m., which is pursuant to the Monday through Friday schedule. But again, the actual sun's not limited to what the bus schedule is or what the schedule is at the Fontana Lewis Library, which is how you're understanding what is stocked with the fake sun as well, because it's based on where I am as I am there. That's why you have what is 5:02 on Sunday when I'm leaving the library before what is the typical time, the fake sun that's setting in alignment with me in the parking lot of the Fontana Chamber of Commerce, as opposed to keeping in alignment with Spring Street and Sierra inside of the library. 8RWE, I can't really see that, 9ABR546, which is what I captured yesterday. Okay, at 5:52 p.m. This is why you have what is the maintenance of a fake sun over Shiro's Liquor, as opposed to necessarily, I would never be able to capture, in other words, and it would not be over, it's not over Shiro's Liquor while I'm standing at the intersection of G Street and Euclid Avenue at 6:44 in the morning, which would be 7:44 daylight savings time, all right? As I'm walking north of Euclid Avenue, in other words, and I left during the 6 o'clock hour, daylight savings time, what I'm documenting now is relevant to that. And the entity was doing the same thing, stalking with the fake sun, and that same time frame is relevant. 6ZBS 810. Rider 2315024, crossing path, and doing so under the same fake sun. The entity is engaging in what is maintaining this light source where I am, and minions engaging in what is, go ahead. It's currently 7:51 a.m. Alrighty, I am on the bus of Omnitrans at 7:52 a.m., so that's what I paused for. And so the pattern of conduct is underway, and the entity is keeping a fake sun going in the direction east on Hope Boulevard. As to opposed to what I documented, again, it's not just that I went to Pomona and went to Chino. I went to Upland, remained in Upland. License 8NNP308. The entity was keeping its fake sun, as I documented, leaving routinely very early from the Ontario Museum of History and Arts and walking on foot north up Euclid Avenue at the same time where I'm remaining stationary at the B&G Plaza. And this is what is relevant to the stalking conduct by companies such as Omnitrans, by the entity acting via the people of the state who are driving around in their own vehicles, who are in relevant position at wherever they work. This is what's relevant about what's going on at Shiro's Liquor while the light source is stationary over that venue. This is state surveillance that's underway while the entity is engaging in stalking by commercial actors such as Ryder, engaging in what is state surveillance with that entity that is intentionally present in that environment, and they're not with ignorance. This is why you have directed light. This is why you are engaging in what is harassment by the use of your brand while you repeatedly engage in stalking on behalf of that state. This is what is relevant while the entity is stalking by airplanes and helicopter in that environment. And so the entity's light source is remaining stationary over the Shiro's Liquor, as I've already documented on video. You can reference it. And the entity is documenting keeping the fake sun moving north as I'm walking north. That's not remaining over the Shiro's Liquor. It's not visible over Shiro's Liquor. It is distinct with regard to, like, let me get this, license 8GTC631 at Donut Place at 727 Holt Boulevard, monitoring, stalking in the path. While this demon gets on the bus, directed light is on the ceiling ceiling of the bus. This is the demon with the black hat on. He's got on large black headphones and a long sleeve blue hoodie and black jeans. He's a demon. He's monitoring, and they're monitoring together. I'm just identifying a third party in relevant position off the bus and this demon that's monitoring while getting on the bus. Anyway, so it's 7:54 a.m. and that's what you're going to reference. And I like to make that clear. There's nothing that is in any way going to occur with regard to this light source, even as I go to Fontana, which is what I pointed out yesterday. There is no time of day, actually, at all, that light source would ever be captured anywhere, getting on the bus, going to Fontana, being present anywhere, because the documented conduct is such that the entity was keeping the fake sun over the property of Economy Inn all day long. And before that, it was over the property of Mayfair Inn all day long. And while I remained in Ontario, as I've documented at Walmart, keeping the fake sun over Walmart at 1333 North Mountain Avenue all day long. This is 2020. This is 2021. The entity engaging in stalking and maintaining a light source, which is not the sun. And as I'm documenting in the city of Fontana, what is not the sun at all, you're understanding what is that state surveillance system that's underway. 49195H3, that's a demon, while those are overweight demons. Females driving that red Chevrolet Silverado, directed light on the ceiling of the bus while they're listening to me document. So there is no time of day where the light source is ever going to be, and I'm speaking to with reference to what is the actual sun as we know it, all right? And I'm documenting what is not the sun. This is a light source. This is a light source that's maintaining presence over me, which is exclusive. And it's impossible that, obviously this is not the sun, as I'm speaking to an impossibility. This is a reference to the demonic, and it's a clear indication, clear and irreducible evidence of stalking with that light source while it's over me in the city of Fontana, again, out of conformity with what would be the sun. That's in no way visible, possible anywhere in Fontana, as I remain at the property last year at 2301 South Euclid Avenue in 2021. And the entity keeping that fake sun over me while I'm documenting the entity keeping that light source over that property from beginning of the day to the end of the day. That's at no time of day is that ever over the roof. It's not over the parking lot. It's not over the Stater Brothers on Sierra. It's not over any bus and street that the buses are driving on as I'm documenting. It is mutually exclusive. And that is speaking to an entire body of evidence, not just what I'm capturing on a day-to-day basis, which is in and of itself what I'm capturing on a day-to-day basis is the prima facie case. The entity keeping a light source from the beginning of the day over you to the end of the day over you. You're looking at what is directed light that's touching you, and the directed light is the demonic. You're subject to surveillance, and it's sexual violence by the government that's placing you under surveillance, and demons are engaging in terrorism, and they're stalking in that environment. 8FJB910, and capturing that is the prima facie case for federal group stalking and monitoring. It is the prosecution of the government and the people of the state. That is impossible conduct, meaning it is demonic conduct, never occurring naturally. There's no trickery that you can engage in that. Sunlight is naturally engaging in the conduct that I'm documenting by video in order that it is clearly witnessed. Alright, I just want to get these minions that are patrolling getting off the bus. We're at 1850 East Hope Boulevard, the Circle K, turning onto Vineyard Avenue at 7:57 a.m. The entity is license 8SPP698, 8SPP698. The entity's light source is remaining over me as I'm getting on the bus and going to Fontana. And as I documented again before daylight savings time, this is nothing in comparison what's are coexisting with. It's impossible. It's mutually exclusive while the entity is doing this and I'm going to Fontana, as opposed to when I'm going to Upland, California. And that's, I mean, heavily documented in Upland, just like I'm heavily documenting Fontana right now. And this is exactly the identity of that environment that is intentionally maintaining presence around you, and the entity doing so through all of the ways in which you are applying that same exact cookie cutter, that template. All right, and you're looking at the P.O.C. As I'm documenting it, and so it is also relevant to what is daylight savings time. License 8RMH480, crossing path. 7NWT 463, crossing path. The entity engaging in what is the maintenance of that light source going north of Euclid Avenue during the 6 o'clock hour is you can use the same time analysis with regard to what is daylight savings time. 11279C3. At 6:44 a.m. at 6:50 a.m. while I'm north of Euclid Avenue, that's not going to be visible over the Shiro's liquor. And I'm bringing that up as well because you have minions that are hopping onto YouTube and getting excited. And this is why also you're talking about what is the prosecution of the people of the state as they hop on the venue of the internet, engage in any intrusion of what is a process for prosecuting a government that's placing under surveillance, engaging in any, including themselves, intruding on that prosecution in any way. It's self-documenting. All right, so you have, but nonetheless, as I'm capturing video of what is a pattern of conduct, of what is the fake sun, indeed, that's hovering over S.I.I.S liquor, and the arrival by what is third-party Omnitrans, and you've got over 573 people yesterday that are looking at this like 20-second video. It's documenting what is merely the presence of the light source, and that's relevant to what is in conformity to the documented P.O.C. And you have demons that pick and choose, because that's what they are, they're minions, taking out of context documentation that is published. And this is also why using social media, this is nothing for the approval of the minions that are monitoring you, that are necessarily engaging in the P.O.C. while they would like to try to slice and dice, which you can't. It's a pattern of conduct. You're not picking and choosing a video that you like. It's not about your approval. Who cares about what a minion thinks, by the way? And hopping on the video of the internet and engaging in that. And that's why you have this 15-second video that's showing a fake sun over the S.I.I.S liquor. And it's comparable to what I also noted, which is 6:44 a.m., 6:50 a.m., where the entities maintaining this alignment with the light source, not remaining stationary, and then going east on Hope Boulevard. It's going north of Euclid Avenue, keeping in alignment with me, remaining over the Upham Public Library all day. And I would never be able to capture that light source remaining stationary at 7:52 a.m., at 7:49 a.m. When I'm in motion and going north of Euclid Avenue. And so this is what I'm documenting. I publish this on YouTube, and you have minions that are picking, literally cherry-picking documentation. And it's so funny because they don't pay any attention. And this is what is absolutely irrelevant, and this is why you're using it to prosecute and publicly document a government that's engaging and threatening your life, place you under surveillance. This is not about some minion liking your video. That is not what you're using social media about. It actually has a genuine and vital and important purpose, documenting the government, as opposed to what is the nonsense that minions are utilizing it for, literally distracting from real things that are going on, like state surveillance. And you have minions like that engaging in what is a lot of views and likes to this video, whereas when I'm showing the entity stalking by helicopter 8 and 9 times in one day, when the entity is engaging in molesting with directed light that's shooting up to the top and bottom and all around the Star Trek light show that the demons that are the people of state engage in, that is what they intentionally disregard. Okay, and so this is where you're also understanding, this is another method of understanding how the entity is operating on the venue of the internet. All of it is a method of documentation. Okay, this is intentional while they engage in it, and it's a false attempt, it's a futile attempt to cherry pick and disregard other evidence. The entire documentation is profound. You're talking about what is trying to pick one and take it out of context, and have what is one video, which is within a body of conforming documentation of what is the state's pattern of conduct. But that's why I want to bring that up, because first of all, that video that I documented, and it was days ago, getting on the Omnitrans at around 7:51 a.m. I believe, and 7:49 a.m. These are early morning buses that I got on, just like I did today at 7:52 a.m. And the fake sun is remaining there over the S.I.I.S liquor, and I document that. And directed light is occurring, which is heavily documented on the bus. You don't have minions giving 600, 700 views to that video, though. Nobody wants to give any traction to that. Understand, this is documentation, prosecution of a government. It's intentional, everything that the entity is doing, including on the internet. And I want to document that because this is relevant to the legislation that's going to be created in order to bind what is the government that is active on the venue of the internet, acting through third parties on these plateaus and also on these platforms, and acting through what are the people of the state who are on these facilitating venues engaging in such conduct. All right, like I said, it is the pattern of conduct, and you're talking about understanding everything that the entity, all of the tactics employed. 18249F3, that's the Ontario, City of Ontario, excuse me, not City of Ontario, the Ontario Airport Shuttle monitoring, okay? Flashing directed light while I'm giving you this analysis. The entity is engaging in terrorism with directed light, which I've already documented, so I'm not going to stop giving you my point while Satan's listening to me and trying to engage in any method of distraction and terrorism. But that's the the Ontario airport. That's a shuttle. That's a demon driving that vehicle, engaging in what is surveillance on the grounds of the airport where I remain, where the entity is coming from this airport or flying over, coming from, you can claim wherever you want to come from. These minions that are on the ground, this includes TSA, the federal government. The entity is present through the people of the state who are coming on, getting on a flight or not. Whatever they're doing it in relevant position. And state surveillance is underway at the Ontario airport. And the entity is stalking with airplanes in relevant position, as I've shown you, the pattern of conduct underway. For years, I've been documenting that, by the way. And so this is a state facilitating venue, and I'm showing you that the presence of an airport is no argument, which minions like to throw around. Oh, there's an airport. There sure is, and it's a facilitating venue where surveillance is underway as well, which is heavily documented. And so, like I'm stating, you have what is the entity not giving 575, however many views, which I'm not here for the views. I'm here to prosecute. That's what I'm doing. And I'm here to reveal to you what is very real, which is the presence of Satan, and how you are witnessing the presence of Satan, how you know Satan is present. And it's through the environment, and it is through people who you can also identify through its conduct, objective, that you can observe, that you are aware of. All right, and you're talking about what is, and no longer, it is not concealed, it is not a secret, it is not a mystery. 1370396, that's Omnitrans, that's also monitoring engaging in terrorism on the grounds of the Ontario airport, where this bus is filled with directed light. And it is the videos that they're giving traction to. These are minions that engage in that conduct. There is very specific and malicious conduct underway on the venue of the internet, and that is relevant to ways, again, this is obstruction of justice, and all the ways you're going to protect the ordinary targeted individual, and all the ways that that government is acting through the people of the state. I'm here for it. You engage in it, and I'm going to legislate around it. 8JLJ940, they're acting on behalf of the state. That is also on the venue of the internet monitoring. That's what the government is doing. All right, on the venue, the internet is a venue. 7XPC714, where the entity is engaging in what is criminal conduct. License 57529F2, and doing so in consonant on behalf of the people of the state. 88268V2, that's OC Landscape Crossing Path. It's currently 8:06 a.m. and on Archibald, where the entity is keeping the fake sun that's going northbound on Archibald Avenue. We're on the bridge where I've shown you the fake sun from the passenger side of the bus, and it hops over to the, on the driver's side, hovering over me where I'm being molested, just like I'm being molested now, sitting at the back of the bus. And then immediately in this video that I showed you, I've already published this, and it drops to, it immediately hops over to the, and by hop, I mean hop, it just disappears. You're paying very close attention. You're witnessing what is impossible, first of all, the ability to capture what is the maintenance of a light source over my head. It's occurring while I'm on the bus, and then it moves from the passenger side, the driver's side of the bus to the passenger side of the bus, and it happens very rapidly. License, and it's literally the demonic. That's what you're looking at. It's the same thing when you're looking at directed lights cycling through the middle of the bus. There are no street lamps that are creating that conduct. It's occurring underneath the seats. I mean, street lamps are not reaching down through the windows horizontally and moving forward. The bus is driving north. The directed light on the bus is going in the direction north. It's absolutely retarded. And you have what is the entity, that's witnessing the demonic. That's directed light conduct. It's stalking with light. It's the presence of Satan. And you're witnessing it through the environment. So anyway, it's currently 8:07 a.m. This is P.O.C. on the Omnitrans bus, and this is being driven by, again, the a Latino male, and it is currently 8:07 a.m. at the Inland Empire, 88940X2, 8DXD653, 8AJD603 at the Inland Empire Boulevard and Archibald Avenue intersection. This is P.O.C. 8VXB800. 5CIN668. 7CST159. It is 8:09 a.m. 8SPT722. This is a demon that's molesting with directed light, sitting at the back of the bus. The entity is going out of its way. This is the demonic, and this is the sexual molestation, touching on my thighs with directed light while I'm sitting at the back of the bus, stalking with light. That's a sex offender acting with these demons who are stalking on the bus as well. It is 8:09 a.m. on Inland Empire in Haven. That is speaking to what the entity is doing while the fake sun is maintaining presence above the bus, as I've shown you. And for example, the business plazas, the La Quinta Inn, moving over the Ontario airport, this venue, this is where the entity is keeping a fake sun because surveillance is underway, and this is, again, understanding how you're prosecuting people, any company name in any way accepted from that prosecution. And you know that because the entity is keeping a fake sun in nowhere over Inland Empire Boulevard. As I'm walking north from the Ontario Museum to the Upland Public Library to the McDonald's at 100 East Foothill Boulevard, none of that is able to or ever coexisting with what is being over the Empire Towers on Mercedes Lane and Inland Empire Boulevard. All right, at 3633 Inland Empire Boulevard, and that's what the entity is doing, stalking with a light source and molesting my person. This is employee number 3351, the Latino male. He's a sex offender. He's stalking and monitoring with the entity. The people of the state represent the entity. The people sitting on this bus represent the entity, and the entity is doing so while molesting, touching my body with directed light. That's the sex offender. Okay, it's 8:11 a.m. Touching with directed light at Mathis Brothers and CarMax. This is along Inland Empire Boulevard. This is why the entity is aiming directed light at the back of the bus. Remember, as I routinely sit at the front and I'm showing you the fake sun, the entity is keeping that fake sun in alignment with me in the same way that it's following, keeping it over my head. This is what it's doing. As you can see the positioning, it's not in alignment with any window at the front of the bus. The entity is at the back of the bus with this fake sun, reaching underneath seats, touching on my person with what is engineered light. So I want to document that it's 8:12 a.m. And that is prosecution. These facilitating venues, the people of the state are going to be prosecuted for that. They are the hands and feet. They are the presence of that government that is monitoring in concert on behalf. These are puppets of Satan. And this is the criminalization of that demonic activity. And it is 8:12 a.m. at Ontario Mills where the pattern of conduct is underway. That's why a fake sun is over the venue. It's P.O.C. 7 YOP 959. See 1545906, that's Omnitrans, who's engaged in sexual violence as well, monitoring on a different bus. This is not this license plate. The bus, I haven't read this one yet. License 8XIG 818. It's a sex offender molesting and stalking with the state, a demon doing so. This is a perpetual sex offender. Group stalking in the parking lot of Ontario Mills, sitting in the parking lot that faces the 76 gas station for crossing path. And this is a minion whose license plate I can't see, but this is what the people of the state do. 7HCH026, that's called surveillance, where the entity is stalking with an environment. It is at 8:13 a.m. One 15964H2. Cold Star Ice, California 33841, I believe. That is, I can't see the California number. 381341. That's the California number, and this is Cold Star Ice. They're group stalking across from the bus. The bus is sitting with the hazard lights on, being molested with what is directed light. Cold Star Ice is a sex offender, and they're monitoring this Latino male sitting on the bus. Sitting in their truck in alignment right behind what is bone and broth Vietnamese cuisine, the Save Insurance, engaging in what is surveillance. While I'm being touched with directed light, you're monitoring, and you're a sex offender. And this is the company Cold Star Ice. This is either a Latino male or an African American male. It says truck number 203 on the hood. As I began documenting Cold Star Ice, the employee 3351 moves the bus forward. This creates activity. 8JMB 290 is monitoring as well. It's a sex offender. They're engaging in a touching together while the demon possessed are engaging in surveillance together. Understand that. And it's going to be prosecuted as the sexual violence that they're engaging in while they're monitoring together. This is analogous to what is an orgy by a bunch of freaks that are demon possessed. That's their condition while they're touching you together. Okay? And that's exactly what you're doing together while you're monitoring together. And you're also engaging in what is terrorism while you're touching with this engineered light that you are following around with and following in that environment together. All right? That is again Cold Star Ice. Let me show you this company. Group stalking at Ontario Mills under the fake sun. This is the same property where the entity was falling with the fake sun yesterday evening while the entity kept that light source over me. You're looking at the Ontario Police, American Medical Response, and the Ontario Fire Department. All of them in a matter of seconds. Yeah, that's P.O.C. And Cold Star Ice is engaged in that P.O.C. 68430U2, a sex offender. 5FY. Oh, I can't really see the rest of that one. You can scratch that one. 8RXK446.
Stop requested.
C51032W 3NOH 884. It is 8:16 a.m. You have a third party keeping, and this is the demon, keeping presence in the parking lot of the Caliche Town Mexican style food. Looks like he's about maybe 5'5", 5'6". Looks like a male wearing an all black hoodie with a cap underneath that hoodie. And there's a truck parked in that parking lot. They're maintaining presence. They're group stalking on that property. They're engaging in what is crossing path. And it's at 8:17 a.m. In that parking lot of Caliche Town, the Mexican food restaurant. CWL0. I can't really see the rest of the phone. License 8KNR314. 8UIJ891 7WKJ764. UCY 6215, I believe. That's Virginia. On AWF 805, I think that's Virginia, on what was a white Corvette. 8UZA 752. I think I read that one. 8KNR 314 60RK 908. I read that one. 8YHN 840. 8GIK 084. YAF 457. I believe. Or you can scratch it because I couldn't really see the last two characters. I think it was 83, but you can scratch it. It's 8:19 a.m. Passing the 5030 exchange, Ontario Center, where the fire department came off the freeway. Understand what the fire department was doing yesterday. They came off the 15 freeway with their lights on, sounding sirens, and slowly crossed path into that 5030 exchange, Ontario Center, and drove around to the back of what is the Arco gas station. I just want to point that out. They were coming off of the freeway and crossed path with their lights on, and maintain presence at that Arco. I saw that as I was walking. As I was on the bus and the bus was driving by the property, just seeing where they're going on the property. It's criminal summoning under all circumstances, but I'm just being detailed and showing you what the minions did. They came off the 15 freeway with their lights on and drove straight across the street to cross path with those lights. And that was facilitation of the Ontario police, who were already in position at Westcom, in relevant position. Westcom Credit Union and American Medical Response provides additional facilitating activity creation. This is what I documented yesterday on this Route 61 coming from Fontana in the evening, where the entity kept a fake sun, as I documented upon my exit of Fontana Lewis Library after 6 p.m. The entity following on this route in the same way it is right now to that same venue. 8 NPD 196. 7VUA 375. T1.
Enrollment is underway for children up to age 5.
It's 8:22 a.m. at Etowanda Avenue, and now San Bernardino 4th Street turns into San Bernardino Avenue right here. 8BLE 535. Burtech is crossing path as well. E3. We're at Commerce Drive and San Bernardino Avenue. YAJG986. This is May Trucking Company. U.S. .094081. It says Salem, Oregon. This is being driven by a large male with a bald head. I don't know if that's Caucasian or Latino, but he's overweight with a bald head. 7DGU863. And he's got an out-of-state license plate on the back of that truck. It's a yellow license plate. I don't think it's New York, though, but it's out-of-state nonetheless. And that is, again, Main Trucking Company. We are at Cherry Avenue, I believe, and San Bernardino Avenue. It's 8:27 a.m. I'm sorry, 9435 OD3, I believe. 8ULK 680. YP97098. That's a large truck at Redwood and San Bernardino Avenue. Larkspur. Passing Larkspur right now. 8 GDX 842. F91352 04086C3 8SLX 704 6MJG 707 3217OJ3 3217OJ3 I believe. Let's see, 7TUY 315 73833N2, monitoring at Lacadena Market. They were monitoring last night while Spectrum and the people, such as 8RZF 703, minions just like that, 6POJ 790, group stalking along the street, showing their hostility while I'm documenting the entirety of the people of the state, because that's exactly what they represent. The people of the state are going to be prosecuted while they're engaged in that terrorizing conduct, lining the perimeter. It was right over here, around Lacadena, around this intersection, these license plates that I'm reading, these minions around where they live, creating, facilitating light activity while they're monitoring, both in the morning and the evening, while Spectrum goes out of its way to engage in that conduct as well. Monitoring documentation and doing so on behalf of that government that's terrorizing by helicopter. That's exactly why they're going to be prosecuted. 15307K3. That's the hostility. That's the threat to the life that such companies that the people of the state pose with that same demon-possessed government that's engaging in the satanic targeting system. And that's the entity acting as one. I'm at San Bernardino Avenue / Elm Avenue, and is that Fontana Avenue? W1. 5 BEY 620. T1, monitoring with this minion that's getting on the bus to engage in surveillance. It's 8:32 a.m. UAF 725 crossing path as I capture an image of that minion getting on the bus. They're monitoring together. 6EQY 203. Got a minion standing in the cul-de-sac, monitoring on a communication device. The people of the state, I mean, this is already established. The people of the state are going to be prosecuted. That's why entities dragging a fake sun over me in Fontana, through Fontana, over these minions, facilitating venues where they live. That's why, man, because none of this is ever capable of being documented. This is why you're understanding the big picture. Don't get lost in the trees. The entity kept a fake sun over 2301 South Euclid Avenue, CC07M48. That's just one example. The entity keeping the fake sun in Ontario. Okay? And did that for a prolonged period while I remained there. Fontana, Lewis Library doesn't fit into that when you're keeping it literally on the block of Hope Boulevard. No, you're a weirdo. You're a weirdo, minion. Sitting on the bus stalking. That's the audible activity of a minion. Monitoring with 3351. That's why you're paying attention to what I'm saying. 586TU. That's the loser that you can't even spell retarded, you illiterate ass stalker. Sit your ignorant ass down while you're on this bus stalking. Anyway, license 7W74929. Those are the minions that are going to be prosecuted, the losers that they are, using helicopters and airplanes to stalk somebody, and then very annoyed while they listen to me prosecute them and show them to be the stalkers that they are. This is Satan. Okay, literally stalking an engineered light. That's audible activity. License 586TU handicap. And these are the same minions that are exceedingly concerned about me on the internet, engaging in the pattern of conduct as well. Okay. All right. So let me be clear on that. It's 8:34 a.m. and that's the minion that engages in what is a show of hostility while you're stalking. You're stalking. While you are stalking. And again, another ignoramus using a word that he can't even spell. Can't even spell. Straight up. Cannot even spell retarded. And that's not a difficult word. It's currently 8:34 a.m. It's Citrus Avenue, it's Citrus Avenue and San Bernardino Avenue. License 5LYP816. That's criminal defamation by Omnitrans, employee number 3351, who's monitoring to that audible activity. This is nothing other than what is the minion that is Satan, that's hostile. License 8YAP915. I'm going to prosecute for all of that audible activity. 4SON838. That is audible activity that's serving monitoring. That's called criminal defamation by a hostile demon who is stalking. This is the stalker. Okay, it doesn't get any more pathetic. License plate 6WIV398 is monitoring, engaging in that harassment as well, while this minion is sitting in here creating facilitating activity and focused on me. 7FCM122. License 7PJP715. 7ZKX113, 8YRK826, 6YYE723, license 8PNK117, 7XT4122, group stalking at what is the intersection of Oleander and San Bernardino Avenue. Operation, he's standing in relevant position. Let me show you this minion right here who's stalking with this minion that's on the bus. All right, stalking in the path where he lives, where the entity's keeping a fake sun. 7YJD382. And then that correct license plate is 7XT4129. Okay, 7X74129 is the correct license plate. There you go. Now that's the weirdo monitoring with the stalker that's sitting on the bus. That's all up in my mouth. Okay, and that's a minion. That's what the demon possessed engage in. License 7LC421. 7PGU584, 42866J2, 215LB handicap, 8VNF971, 5SAH397, 8LWX470. You see the light activity that's on these Omnitrans buses, and this is the audible activity of a demon-possessed freak, okay? Talking about words that define himself. This is Satan sitting next to me on the bus, and that's the audible activity of a hostile demon who's going to be prosecuted for that, including 6WSR276, talking about weirdos. Satan's talking about himself. They're the ones sitting up in this clown environment and listening to every word that I'm documenting about him, okay? Because that's what it is. You're dealing with the demonic. This is the demon that's stalking on the bus and monitoring as I speak, okay? Monitoring as I speak and on surveillance cameras, engaging in what is audible activity on behalf of a company. License, I'm gonna put a muzzle on Satan's mouth. APTE373. You're gonna talk about a weirdo in directed light while these demons are stalking on a bus. That's a weirdo, okay? And that's exactly what I mean with regard to what is the people of the state who are engaging in a specific pattern of conduct. They are demons doing so. This is why you have directed light appearing in the wall on the opposite side of the room, inside of the Fontana Lewis Library, while those weirdos are engaging in ongoing noise creation. This demon on the bus in directed light is creating noise by using hostile words to monitor. That's what Satan is doing. It's the same P.O.C. And that's a psychopath that does that. That's a psychopath. You're going to prosecute for that. 8CJL442, because you cannot stand the pressure. That's what it is. You can't spell pressure either. License 5KHX187. And demons like this, if they're not natural born citizens, you ship those demons out of this country. He's not even worthy to be here. How about that? Spell that one. Look that one up. Unworthiness, Satan. Look it up. He's demonstrating the conduct of the people of the state who are to be prosecuted relentlessly. It is 8:38 a.m. 6A50357. It's hilarious. Only laugh because it's pathetic, not because it's funny. Alrighty. License 6BFV951, 8WGE454. License 432TA handicap. BJZ455. Alright, and I want to make sure I clarify what this minion is doing. He is monitoring, and his form is harassment. So in other words, demons that monitor you and want to distract you with what is the hostile speech. You're going to prosecute for all of the above. 3LCS424. This demon is sitting in front of me, which is stalking in the path, while he is engaging in creating audible activity, talking about weirdo. He's crossing path in directed light and under the fake sun. He sits on the opposite side of the bus. He changes the sides to the opposite side of the bus, and then he crosses path again by sitting next to me on the bus while engaging in ongoing audible activity. You're not going to be distracted by that. You're going to prosecute for that. And he's monitoring while he's moving, engaging in musical chairs on the bus. He's monitoring. He's a demon that's pacing. 7JDN280, and that will be seen on the surveillance cameras. It's currently 8:40 a.m.
Visit omnitrans.org.
License plates 24239C3. Fontana PD monitoring as well, crossing path. They're driving on surveillance cameras of this bus, monitoring with employee 3351. That's two Fontana Police at 8:40 a.m. driving south on Sierra Avenue, crossing path. License CB85KO1 paper 7LHT327 8GCR205 8YHC256 7KMH348 6VFN867 6 U.A.C 985, 5 PBE 247, 9288, 92888 R2, I believe. Six FRX 811. Seven PWW 697 43799E3. Sorry, 43799. Yeah, E3. 64758W1 8AXL 985. Five ETX 445. On Sierra Avenue, by the way, 56714C3. 8M SN920 370K1 8KLP 897. It's 8:43 a.m. 9ACR 484 7GEJ 013. License 8MNF. Oh, I can't really see the rest of them. 6Y26168. 5XEA781. SXG012, 8YTC647, 8VOS87L, 8HOA116, 7WGP821. Burtech crossing path. They're loitering at the behind the Carl's Jr. on Merrill Avenue and San Bernardino Avenue, creating light activity. License 8KLP897, 8VGB157. 05004E1, that's AT&T, that's pacing. A license 7UZE178, 6LYP917, 8ROW868, 6LDA862, C989B1, 6ZDY212, 87742N2, that's Lexani, 7ANF150, 6ND0027, I believe, 8KUR811. Route 19, bus 1304. I'll get that license plate in a second. License 82830J3, 5PEM451, CL356 handicap, 13928C2, 6WWG466, and this is bus 1304, Route 19 to Redlands, Yucaipa. It's license plate 1479513. It's driven by African American male. She's got two braids coming down both sides of her head, with a red and white face mask on. 6JXG 903, I believe. And direct the light while that demon driving the Omnitrans bus crosses path, in the same way that the rest of the third parties doing the exact same thing. Impossible light activity. A demon's monitoring with the demon that's stalking on the bus, talking about weirdo while he's monitoring. Okay. Okay. Alrighty, this is bus number, again, 1331, license plate 1404991. This is the fake sun that remains over the bus the entire time while you're listening to the people of the state. A demon-possessed entity engaging in harassment. 7PFV985. That is the audible activity that is created, which is also that which is serving to harass you while you are in every way stalking. And a demon that is stalking. And that's what this dirty foot minion on the bus is engaging in. This Latino male who is engaging in what is harassment while he is stalking on the bus, literally engaging in musical chairs, moving around. He's pacing on the bus. Directed light is on the bus. The fake sun is remaining over the bus as I capture on video at 8:48 a.m. Remember, this is relevant to what will be 7:48 a.m., which I've documented before daylight savings time, and I am in Upland, California, walking north up Euclid Avenue, documenting the minions that are crossing path under what is the fake sun that's hovering over me while I'm at the freeway entrance of the 10 freeway. excuse me, not the freeway entrance, but that bridge where the freeway of the 10 freeway and the people of the state are engaging in massive surveillance, as I documented it. That's not visible. That's not moving street for street, turn for turn. That is no way coexisting. In addition, and that's just common sense, what I documented as of late. The entity keeping a fake sun, again, over Economy Inn, where I remain at this time of year last year, and I documented the maintenance of that fake sun as it would remain over directly above my head over the hotel room that I was in, present over that property as I was up early in the morning, both while working for Country Village in Riverside County and then returning in the evening, keeping a fake sun on the 60 freeway. All right. The entity was keeping a fake sun as I stopped working at Country Village and remained at Economy Inn all day long. And the entity was engaging in rising and setting a fake sun in alignment to me. All of this is speaking to what is stalking with an environment, stalking under what is, again, a fake sun. That's exactly why I've termed it that, because it's not the actual sun. It's not possible that that's the sun. And you have what is the ongoing conduct of following with this light source while you are subject to surveillance. That's why that is underway. And it's also demonic. And this is a dirty foot demon possessed stalker who is on the bus engaging in what is harassing audible activity. All right. In the same way that the entity is monitoring while crashing and banging and pounding, making noises, which is harassment, harassing with the content of your speech while you are stalking in concert with the people and on behalf of the state, with minions such as license 1597032. Those are the demons packed into a Fontana Police Department vehicle, monitoring under the fake sun that I just captured on video at 8:48 a.m. License plate 1535708. This is the fake sun that's over me in Fontana, California. You're also going to remember this is the fake sun that's over. This is the same property where I was yesterday. After you're talking about 6:30 p.m., where I've already shown you on video what is the fake sun that's present. I've documented this at 6:09 p.m. specifically. This is the third party that's crossing path on the Undertrans bus 1535708, bus 1363, and the one driven by employee number 3351. I got off of what is bus 1331. He pulls up to the opposite side where bus 61 is at. They're both routes 61. They're monitoring together. Okay, but the one that I got off is this one right here, bus 1331, license 1404991. And that minion is now crossing path, coming up, approaching the bus stall. So I just want to speak to what are the elements of monitoring while Omnitrans is engaging in it, and monitoring with the demons of the Fontana Police Department, all of whom are under what is a light source that is present, remaining over me in Fontana for the duration of the day. Because you're also remembering the light source is remaining over me Monday through Thursday at a later time than what I captured it on video, because it's based on what is the schedule of the library, because I'm leaving based on the schedule of the library, and that's also not pursuant to what the sun would be documented and engaging in. There would be no meat there. There would be nothing there. There'd be nothing juicy if the entity was engaging in that which is consistent, that which you would expect of what's supposed to be a star that's engaging in what's going to be identical conduct. And it's also not existing at the same time over where I documented this star remaining over a property all day long, which is why I started documenting it, because that's not the sun. All right. And so you're talking about what is stalking day in and day out? Oh, you can easily show that. Let's see what it was doing a year ago. A year ago, let me see, April 6th, 2021. April 6th, you can look at 10:40, around 10:45 in the morning. Where's the fake sun? The fake sun's right over my hotel room while you're looking at the demons of the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, the demons of American Medical Response, who were, as I'm documenting them, group stalking yesterday, engaged in criminal summoning, the demons of the Ontario Fire Department, as I'm documenting them yesterday, engaged in criminal summoning. That's exactly what they were doing on April 6, 2021 at 2301 South Euclid Avenue, where the entity's fake sun was directly over my head as I stood outside of my hotel room, pursuant to that same exact pattern of conduct that's underway while I'm on the bus of Omnitrans. All right, so that is what you are looking at with regard to time of year analysis, and the entity is keeping that light source over. So this is what you are referencing, and this is already published on YouTube. It's already published on my website. That's audible activity under a fake sun. That's a company to be prosecuted for what is terrorism. It's audible activity. It's demonic. It's occurring in that demonic environment for that criminal purpose, and it's Metrolink. In no way changing the subject either. This is the prosecution of such companies. Metrolink is going westbound at 8:55 a.m. on the train tracks. This is light activity while Metrolink does so. Metrolink has no legal position that is relevant. You're talking about what is state surveillance, and Metrolink is a heavily utilized method of what is stalking with noise. 7W25435. Stalking in the path and facilitation. Demons that are on that train are monitoring with the company Metrolink, and those are demons that are engaging in facilitation 8NXL668 of the pattern of conduct.
So that is literally the use of a train to engage in that P.O.C. So I just want to give you the bigger picture, and that's what's so pathetic about Satan while you're listening to that dirty foot minion on the bus engaging in what is speech. He's describing himself. Satan is the ultimate word, but weirdo isn't even sufficient. Weirdo does not describe one that's in a cartoon environment with light shooting all around. 5DGJ437, who is stalking you while they want to look the opposite direction, and everything that you're doing is already been revealed. So you're talking about literally what is Satan that's just mad. You're just mad, okay? And it's pathetic. You lose, and you lost. Actually, you lost a long time ago. But I'm a prosecute. Understand that's necessary. The entity is engaging in what is terrorism and harassment by an entity, by a government. You don't have any business stalking. You don't have any right to ride on the bus. Understand that. The people of the state don't have a right to operate the bus. I'm going to prosecute. You're present on behalf of the state. You're stalking. All right. It's a total implosion of that entire city, of that entire system. And I'm going to prosecute. It's AT10497. I'm going to show what is the ways in which you are prosecuting what is the demonic as well, because that's what it is. Satan is not in any way concealed or impervious to being prosecuted, dragged into federal court. 68XB531, San Bernardino Rays, it shows. License 70XX477, license 6938OT2. And that Latino male talking about San Bernardino Rays, communication device in hand, group stalking. If it's not a natural born citizen, you deport that San Bernardino Rays minion out of the country. It's currently 8:57 a.m. And that fake sun is, again, relevant to what is the fake sun that's present on the same block while I'm inside of the Fontana Lewis Library. This is the same street, the plaza at Sierra. So that is impossible. That is, meaning that is the light source that is on the same street, which is Sierra and Orange Way, at Sierra and Spring Street. You're talking about what is a matter of 500 feet. No, I mean, not even, it's 8ZLW075, 8ZLW075, excuse me. The entity is keeping, you're talking about 2 blocks up the street, if that. And this is, Sierra runs north and south. Even if it ran east or west, understand that's still not movement of the actual sun. This is maintenance all day long. License 8KMC060, license 8SKA775, minions, 6VFA025, minions. Okay, and their prosecution is already short, even if I didn't get their license plate. I'm going to find them with the long arm of the law, and the people of the state are subject to what is a federal prosecution. License plate, and I'm showing you why. This is the system. License 3264OW1. This is exactly how the entity is doing it. And the entity that's group stalking and repeatedly stalking by helicopter, it is tethered to as an ongoing pattern of conduct. It's not separate from those old demon-possessed biddies inside of the Fontana Lewis Library, dragging tables around, kicking around plastic tubs, slamming books on bookshelves, engaging in the conduct of that which is demented while you are shown to be the demon that you are with engineered light above your head, inexplicable light on the wall behind you. That's where you pay attention to the detail. The devil is in the details. Okay, license 8UGJ063, and that's why I capture video, and that's why I give you enlarged close-up images of the demons that are engaging in this pattern of conduct on behalf of the state. 8V40820, 8ZOB107, CC15L96 paper, 7NVL263. That is also why there is no, with regard to documenting, first of all, it's because of the nature of what you're documenting, because it's supposed to be the sun, the entity is stalking with a fake sun. You can cover up your fake sun all you want. You can cover it up for 7 days straight. Because of the nature of what you're documenting, oh, if that was the sun on Monday, when you want to try to cover it up, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and wait until Sunday to show what is an equally fake sun that's remaining over your head. And if you captured it early in the morning at one address, and you're capturing it again at the end of the day, at that same address at the end of the day, that is documentation of what is keeping a fake sun over you for the duration of the day. Whether this demonic entity that is monitoring your documentation wants to cover it up for serious, you can do whatever you want. It's not 8YIS675. It's not in any way avoiding what is identification of an equally fake sun. It is not possible. All right, so you're talking about what I'm documenting, what I've shown you, the entity covering up its fake sun, which remains present. It's nothing other than a subdued fake sun, equally fake. You might as well paint it neon green, okay, because that's how fake it is. You're talking about what is the entity keeping a light source over you. This is not the actual sun as we know it. This is a light source. This is indicative to a pattern of conduct that is underway, that is criminal, and it's entirely demonic.
All right, and this is speaking to what is the true condition and the true focus of those who surround you, even as they engage in the conduct that is entirely pathetic while they describe themselves, such as that minion on the bus. He's talking about himself being a weirdo. 8TJT585, I believe. Talking about himself. All right, you're talking about what is hostile. You're just mad because your whole pathetic enterprise has literally been blown up, and I'm going to prosecute every ounce of it. Everything that the entity is doing, everything that the enemy is doing. 8WFD035. There is a legal, 7M56231. Let me get this license plate. 39551X1. There is a legal response to everything that the enemy is doing. And it's doing it through people, and it is evident that it's doing it through people while you're looking at what is that environment that is demonic. And that's a demonic environment where you have directed light in the ways that I've shown you that directed light manifests itself. And it is a demonic environment where you have what is literally a light source that is not possibly the sun. As you show what is the maintenance of that light source, just as I've done yet again. 8:56 in the morning, this is the same block where the entity last night at 5:52 p.m. inside of the Fontana Lewis Library. This is the same block. But you're in the entity, that's a demonic environment. 7VYU957, it's impossible. It is so impossible. It's terrorizing while the ordinary target individual observes this, documents it. 30384K2, I believe. Yeah, license. I can't really see that one. N849AO. And let me get Amazon Prime. This is an African American male driving Amazon Prime. This is license plate 23208A3. License plate 8TSJ767 8WXW390. And Amazon Prime is group stalking on Sierra Avenue, where the entity is keeping a fake sun over me at, where am I at? Arrow Boulevard and Sierra Avenue at 9:02 a.m. License plate 08342K2 25510U1 425 BM handicap 8SEA579 8FLD935 7EEL198 8PVR 316 3VCG059 02269G3 8PFC036 PPK2235, that's Texas 8TCS553 22422W2 8ZYE791. Fontana Police group stalking at what is Spring Street and Sierra. 0657. I can't really see that one. A license 1622255. That's City of Fontana. All these demons are maintaining, all they're doing is maintaining presence all around. That's what Fontana Police are doing, driving around the perimeter, stalking. They're cockroaches. You see them in their true form, they're demons. 30346G3, 8J48335. That's why a fake sun remains over the Fontana Police Department. That's what this is documentation of all day long, because they're puppets of Satan. They're minions, like I already told you. License 8VSA047, and that's the direct evidence of it. I'm going to prosecute for that. License 7XCC558, 8DUC505, 7KYM851, 91634R2, 6HDN521, 8, yeah, I read that one already. 7KFD220, 6VHM669, 7WKU398, 78176W1, 8NTX651. But it's not just the minions of the Ontario Police Department. This is, again, your local government, engaging in state surveillance, interstate stalking, monitoring. 8ZLB241, practicing demonic activity. That's the Fontana Civic Center. That's the City Hall. That's the Weiner development centers. Those are demons monitoring. 8KYV009. And their condition is irrefutable. It is established by virtue of what is a light source that remains over me there in relevant position all day long while demons are stalking with noise, while the entity's aiming direct light across the ceiling, across the room, projecting it through the room, and while minions are crossing path in it. 5JHT663, 7KMF279, the demons of this local government, the Fontana Civic Center, where they are positioned, where they're headquartered at, the Chamber of Commerce, all these government buildings, they are engaging in what is the criminal system of the state of California. They're monitoring. All right, license 7ULK783, 6RXH885, 7KYN979. It's 9:05 a.m. And it does not change. Obviously, that is the same where you are documenting the entity. Everybody's condition is made known, and your criminal conduct is thereby known as well. And that includes the San Bernardino County Fire Department, which again, I am not only showing you how you are connecting the dots in the environment, it's telling you, it's identifying those in the environment, and it is knowledge of a criminal system of those who are in that environment for a criminal purpose. It's a system that's appearing, that's underway, and it's just embedded into society. And this is what the demon-possessed population are doing in this country and doing to American citizens. And it's a violation of your constitutional and human rights, and it's entirely satanic. All right, so this is stripping down and making clear this is entirely demonic, and this is the criminal conduct that the demon-possessed are engaging in, and they're doing it on behalf of the government, the state. The state is the state of California here where I'm documenting it. Crossing path is license 220CX handicap, 6MRF155. This license plate 6PVV453, 28023D3. And they're moving around in the parking lot as I'm walking through the parking lot. All right, these are minions that are following step by step, hovering around. So if I walk on the sidewalk, that's what traffic is doing. I'm walking through the parking lot. They're strolling through the parking lot and directed light dragging on the ground behind them. 220CX, that's the handicap. That's an old white woman. While you're hearing that noise, that's a minion. They're monitoring. On the grounds of the John B. Roberts Fire Station, license 4VRN774. Monitoring, group stalking sitting in the vehicle, license 265GZ handicap, monitoring. And so is the fire department while the fake sun is over me, and the entity is sounding, creating audible activity while demons are pacing all around. Alrighty, license. Let's see, 41783A1, 6RLU974. Alrighty, capturing for you what is the demons that are the excuse me, I keep wanting to say Ontario. I'm not in Ontario. I've documented them so heavily, though. That's why they're on the tip of my tongue. I'm documenting Ontario while I am in Fontana, though. Don't be confused. This is the government that I'm documenting. And that's why you have an ongoing pattern of conduct. As I capture on video at 9:07, the ongoing pattern of conduct is the maintenance of a light source that is not possibly the sun. That impossibility is the reference to what is the demonic. And you see the demon that is the the Fontana police officer who's group stalking right behind me, stalking in the path, engaging in stalking with the people. That noise that you hear on my podcast, while that demon, the white lady in the pickup truck who you see cross path again on video, the Fontana police are group stalking, creating audible activity while she's driving around, and directed light is on the asphalt behind her. I do begin video right over in front of the fire department because you need to witness, first of all, what's demonic. And I'm reminding you about my placement in an entirely different city, and also en route from a different city. That's on Route 83 on March 24th, 2022. And the fake sun is over me while I'm at the intersection of Euclid and Holt Boulevard, and that's the same intersection where I'm getting up in the morning, by the way, at the Ontario Museum. And I'm on Route 83, and the entity's moving a fake sun at this time. And I'm right here in Fontana, having gotten on the bus, and the entity moved the fake sun street for street, turn for turn. That's speaking to what is a demon, the Fontana police, who are literally stalking in a police vehicle. That's literally what that minion was doing. 8MLL218 is engaging in stalking and maintaining presence in that parking lot. That's the ignition that you hear right now. They're all monitoring together. And I captured this video at 9:07 when you're looking at this old bag of bones, who's group stalking in this blue vehicle in front of the fire department, where the entity's light source is hovering over that fire department, which is the identification of what is criminal conduct, surveillance that I'm subject to, by what is the identification of those who are demon-possessed. And that is the John Roberts Fire Station, the San Bernardino County Fire Department, engaging in state surveillance. That's why that light source, absolutely impossible that I'm able to capture it, because it is not in alignment with what would be anywhere near Economy Inn at this time of year, where the entity was keeping the fake sun last year, where I remained in Ontario at Economy Inn at 2301 South Euclid Avenue. It is across the same parking lot after 5:52 p.m., which I captured on video yesterday while inside of the Fontana Lewis Library, and I'm showing you this at 9:07 a.m., that is an impossibility. That would never be the case. That's not the sun. That is stalking with a light source. It is present while the entity is engaging in what is the maintenance over me, while I'm also the other example that I gave, which is being on the bus of Omnitrans. I have not even started the route yet. I'm sitting on the bus waiting for the bus driver to depart, and I captured video at 9:07 a.m. of my presence on that bus at the B&G Plaza, where the fake sun is hovering over SI.I.S Liquor, in the same way it was this morning, by the way, at 7:52 while I'm getting on the bus. That's where the fake sun was, and it's immediately moving. That's why it's here over me in Fontana, and it's not over the SI.I.S Liquor at 9:07 a.m. as I documented on March 15, 2022. Like I stated, this is capturing what is criminal activity. You're witnessing a demon, and that demon's in a Fontana Police Department vehicle. The demons that you are looking at, they're sitting around in their cars as I documented them on license plate, and I immediately started video. These are demons that are inside of the venue, a state facilitating venue, that is the fire department. These are demons, and they're identified as such because not only have I heavily documented the Fontana Lewis Library, the fire department is right outside of the library. What do you think they're monitoring while that demonic light is inside of that venue? That's why it's occurring. Not only because this is Satan that's using it, people, and their demon possession is made very plain for the world to see and understand now. And you're also not just witnessing what is now to be public knowledge, the identification of the demon possessed. You're understanding what is criminal conduct by that demon possessed population wherever you're at. And so that is what I'm capturing while I'm showing you what is indeed the light source above the fire department. The fire department, they are demons that use fire trucks, use their vehicles, engaging in stalking. Just like you saw the Fontana Police Department, that's a criminal act. That is the impermissible threat by what is a demon in a police vehicle wearing a police uniform, bearing weapons while they're stalking and facilitating stalking with the people of the state. Stalking, interstate stalking, in violation of existing federal law. Engaging in that which is inherently intended to intimidate and harass and injure while you're looking at that video of them engaging in that. All right. And so, like I said, it is currently 9:16 a.m. and that's the video that I just captured. You got demons that are just pacing back and forth. This is the 70XK915. This is the environment that they're in, and this is speaking to the preoccupation with the pattern of conduct, and you're not doing anything else other than that. All right. That's why a fake sun, a light source, remains over me while you are present. That's why directed light is remaining over and around me while you are present. It's the identification of your condition, which is relevant to your prosecution. This is claiming that you're some demon, which is legally irrelevant. And also, you're talking about what is that which you cannot address, and you cannot in any way reconcile what is the environment that we're in. And you're present in that environment, and that is a heavily documented pattern by the people of the state, and it is the identification of what is demon possession. And that is both something that you cannot, first of all, in any way reconcile. You can't reconcile that. So I just want to let you know that. But like I said, the pattern of conduct is the state's, and the state is engaging in state surveillance, and you claiming that you're not demon possessed is not addressing what is the legal case against you. License 5 P.O.C 976, that you are demon possessed, you are engaging in demonic tactics of state surveillance, you are engaging in the P.O.C. period, your legally irrelevant claim that you're not some demon is not addressing that case. 4VMM 866, you don't have any legal argument when you are engaging in facilitation and presence, and this is what the demon possessed are doing. And you can say whatever you want. 8PGE271 is a demon. That's the sex offender, the Asian female who likes to engage in what is harassment while she's in another room. And in the same way that she's targeting me while she is a demon engaging in that conduct, for example, using a blender, and then all of a sudden my desk starts vibrating. That's called sensational activity. It is that which is entirely demonic. It's impossible that you're in another room and sounding the blender is going to create some vibration of the desk. It's not creating a personal earthquake. This is harassment by a demon who was targeting and doing so in another room, knows exactly who I am. And this is how the people of the state, of any state, this is how you're understanding demonic activity is underway. This is how you are hearing, first of all, as I've documented. So you're talking about what is the definite audible activity. I've captured it inside of the Upland Public Library while a demon is getting on the elevator that you cannot hear inside of the bathroom. But you can, in other words, by what you cannot hear, meaning you cannot naturally hear what is the sound of the elevator inside of the Upland Public Library's women's restroom or the men's restroom. It's across the room. You're not hearing that inside of the bathroom. But you're talking about what is demonic. And so as I've documented, you hear it. You've heard it. I captured that. You are hearing that audible activity. You are witnessing the demonic. That's a demon that's on the elevator, and they are targeting you while they are engaging in what is conduct on surveillance cameras that's captured. And they're doing so in what is also a demonic environment, that engineered light. While, by the way, that fake sun would remain over that Upland Public Library, that's not the case while it's remaining over the Fontana Fire Department and over the same Fontana Lewis Library after 5:52 in the evening, like I captured yesterday and this morning. That's at no time over the Upland Public Library, by the way, in case you did not gather that. This sex offender, this Asian female who was crossing path entering into the parking garage of the Fontana Lewis Library, where the entity is engaging in such demonic harassment on behalf of an entity, is also a sex offender who also is aware of my panties being down and engaging in what is sexually offensive demonic activity to target me inside of that private space on behalf of the government and in concert with the people of the state, such as 5 P.O.C 976, who's sitting at the Fontana Lewis Library engaged in surveillance, stalking with the demons who are using their vehicles, aligning the path while they're inside of the parking garage, pacing back and forth to a trash can, parking in alignment with where I'm standing inside of the parking garage. It's absolutely demonic conduct all the way around. And this is how you're understanding what is a sex offender. Engaging in that conduct inside of the bathroom, intending to sexually offend while creating audible activity with ongoing knowledge of what you're doing, where you are, and targeting their demonic conduct around you. All right. I just want to go through all of that because that's who is entering the parking garage, the Asian female, who was, again, as I've documented, can barely speak English, and that's ripe for what is deportation if she's not a natural born citizen. That is going to be a staple with regard to the prosecution of the people of the state in the state of California, in the United States, monitoring American citizens with a government who can't help you. The government is going to federal prison itself. There is nothing to be stated by a government that is engaging in criminal activity with your help. And who is going to be prosecuted. You are being prosecuted in concert with that government while you engaged in criminal activity on behalf of that government, while you're in the environment that is facilitated by that government, and you are talking about what is going to be deportation from the country, while if not subject to federal prison as well, which the government is going to be subject to as well. As I'm documenting, these demons that are flying helicopters, these demons that are driving police vehicles, these demons that are driving fire trucks, these demons that are driving ambulance and paramedic vehicles, engaging in what is facilitation and terrorism. All right. This is how the government is doing it. And so that is all that is tied into that video that I just captured right now. And like I said, the entity falling with the fake sun to Fontana. That's what you see while I'm on the bus. That is in no way fitting into a narrative where that's supposed to be the sun that is documented remaining over economy in. Last year, this time of year, all right? Or let alone whatever be the case, as I've heavily documented the Fontana Lewis Library. That fake sign above the Fontana on the Fontana Police Department right now, and above me over the plaza at Sierra Apartments, is the fake sun that's then dipping. It's above the building, and then it's dipping so low that it's aiming sunlight horizontally like a laser straight through the building of the Fontana Lewis Library, just coincidentally right in front of the line where the demons are lined up at the circulation desk. Yeah, that's P.O.C. That's entirely demonic. That's what you refer to as impossible light activity. It's 9:22 a.m. This is P.O.C. Alrighty, this is maintenance of presence around the path as I'm showing you the minion that's engaged in surveillance, and the venue where the entity is, as I've shown you. Let me be clear, what I captured on video above the fire department, that's the same parking lot where I'm showing you the fake sun at 5:02 p.m. in the Fontana Chamber of Commerce. Where you see the police department, that is the police department. Where you see the Fontana police group stalking right behind me, okay? That is the same parking lot of the Fontana Chamber of Commerce where I'm showing video at 5:02 p.m. and the fake sun is right there over me as I captured that last Sunday. I am literally facing just the fire department as opposed to facing the Chamber of Commerce. That is another vantage point where you are witnessing the impossibility of what is that light source being the sun. That is stalking with a fake sun. That's the light source. This is surveillance, and this is demonic. While the entity is engaging in this surveillance, it's 9:23 a.m. and I'm just giving you additional context. Where I'm showing you in that parking lot where I'm facing the fire department, and I turn around and show you the demons that are the Fontana police that are behind me, to what would be, while I'm facing the fire department, to my left is the Fontana Lewis Library. That's the same parking lot, okay? And that is where the street Arrow Boulevard is to my right. While I'm inside of the computer lab facing Arrow Boulevard, that's where the fake sun was over me at 10:58 a.m., right above that computer lab window. while Burtek was group stalking, engaging in what is impossible creation of sensational conduct, creating impact inside of a computer lab while you are emptying the dumpster. That's not natural conduct. That's entirely that's harassment by a demon who's targeting you, and again engaging in that conduct, which is a pattern. And what do you see in that video that I captured? The fake sun is right above that computer lab. That's the same area. That's the same parking lot. The computer lab is to my right. Arrow Boulevard is to my the computer lab is to my left. Arrow Boulevard is to my right. And the entity is keeping that light source directly above that computer lab. These are all the placements of what is a light source, literally all over the parking lot at all hours of the day. And where is it at all hours of the day? It's right above my head, all over that parking lot at all hours of the day. All right. It is 9:24 a.m. I just want to speak to, again, I've already published this, and I'm just pointing out what it is that I've already published. It's 9:24 a.m. I am at Fontana Lewis Library, and this is P.O.C. License 8HQK730. It's currently 9:34 a.m. 8XAY723, I believe. CB25B13 paper. 8LRL684. 7RMH512. Using their hazard 7GTH3. Hold on. 7TGH362. This minion is using their hazards on this side of the Fontana Chamber of Commerce, and they pull up right behind me doing so while I'm crossing the street. It's light activity while the entity is engaging and just subduing its light source that remains over my head. I've already captured this before today, and I showed you video today of what is the light source. This is the demonic pattern of stalking the path with light. License 6U16579. It's 9:35 a.m. 7LQT771. 8ERF0, you can scratch that one, I can't really see that one. 8PEV351 and 01836E3. K357W0. 8XJC867. It's currently 9:36 a.m. and I am walking toward the Omnitrans bus station. And I'm walking back as I documented getting off the bus by video and identification of the harassment subject to that and the light source that's remaining over me. I want to be clear. 45109N1, license plate 75546Z2. I'm subject to the pattern of conduct while I'm documenting this video, and I'm identifying the driver, and I'm going back to retrieve property that was left on the bus. And the drivers engage in what is walking the buses, which is serving the pattern of conduct, by the way. But I have routinely witnessed them engaging in walking to the back. They make sure everybody's off the bus. They make sure nobody's left property on the bus. And this third-party employee 3351 remains on the bus, which I documented. He parks on the opposite side, not at the bus stall for Route 61. There's another bus there, which I documented as well. And then he pulls up after sitting at the he's monitoring the entire time. All I'm speaking to is what is my property that's left on this bus, where they are supposedly engaging in what is walking the buses, which I've witnessed them do. And this is what bus drivers are doing, as everybody is supposed to get off at the end of the line. And then he pulls up at Route 61, all right, in front of me again. And then I document what is his conduct as the other Route 61 drives off. And I just want to be clear, the property, my backpack is clearly seen on the surveillance camera, and everything that I'm doing, I'm just speaking to what is the maintenance of the ongoing system that's underway, and the bus driver who does not pull off any property as I'm documenting. He doesn't say anything about, as he's walking through, making sure nobody's on the bus, making sure nobody's left anything on the bus, doesn't say anything while I'm documenting that. And I just want to point that out as well. But that's why I'm walking right now to the Omnitrans, well, the Fontana Metro train station, and back to what is the bus stop, because that's where I got off, and that's where my property was left on the bus. But I want to document what is outside of what is protocol, because they engage in what is walking the buses and making sure that nobody's sitting on the bus, like hiding on the bus, sleeping on the bus, and nobody's left any property on the bus or anything like that. And this minute, not only is he monitoring, he's engaged in prolonged presence, and nothing is said about that. So I just want to document that. And again, this is not some ordinary situation. This is while I'm also subject to surveillance. So all I'm doing is documenting everything. It's currently 9:39 a.m.
8LCW338. Oh, thank you. These are minions that are stalking. They're like, that's U-Haul. License 8PNJ801 AG3962. That's Arizona. BU. I can't really see that paper plate. It's 9:39 a.m. Seven AZN722. 8F79725. License 8AAH891. 8MSN920. 8USJ953. And it's currently 9:41 a.m. I am back at what is the Fontana Mitchell train station. You have light activity at what is Juniper and Orange Way. There's an intersection over there. A vehicle using flashing light at 9:41 a.m. All right, Omnitrans, which is crossing the path right now. This is Route 312, license plate 1590823. Omnitrans that's creating light activity, license 1535707, bus 1362. This is the African American female. She comes out of the bathroom right now. That's relevant positioning, by the way. Oh, this is like the same one that I documented the other day. Excuse me.
La ley federal requiere máscaras a bordo y en las paradas.
Hi, can I have
Máscara no viaje.
Yeah, what's up? Yeah, I have a question. What's you guys' policy with lost and found? I took the
Did
early.
you call the lost and found number?
Yeah, it's Monday through Friday, but I.
Okay, so call them Monday through Friday.
So what do you guys do if you if I left a
61.
If I left a
Airport
my bag on your
terminal.
bus, what do you do with it?
Federal law requires
I don't know,
masks on board
Whatever
and it
operator
stops.
who had
No
it,
mask,
maybe they'll still
no
keep
ride.
it and hold on to it
La
until
ley federal requiere
the ship
máscaras
is
a
over
bordo
and turn
y
it
en las
into
The
paradas.
lost and found.
No
Yeah.
máscara,
Okay, so
no
that's
viaje.
so I do have the number for lost and found. So I called them, and that's what you guys do with the I guess whatever the property
Yeah.
or whatever. Okay, I just think it's weird because I know you guys walk your buses, and he was here for a minute. He didn't say nothing.
maybe somebody grabbed it. I don't know.
No, nobody
Route
grabbed it. I was the last person
61.
off the bus.
Airport terminal.
No,
Pomona.
I know you don't know, but I'm saying
Federal
I've
law
seen you guys.
requires
Like I know
masks
y'all
on
walk the
board
bus. You make sure
and it
nobody's riding on
stops.
the bus or something
No
like that.
mask,
And he
no
didn't say
ride.
anything, but it's all
La
good.
ley
All right, so
federal requiere
I'll go
máscaras
contact
a
lost and found, but I just
bordo y
wanted
en
to know.
las
You're
paradas.
saying that
No
if
máscara,
it's on your
no
bus, you
viaje.
take it back to like
Yeah, or sometimes, like if it was me, I can't speak for the other operator. I don't know
Right.
what they do on their bus.
But don't you
That's
guys have
what-
a policy? That's what I'm saying. Don't
Like
you
I
have
just said, I don't know what the operator do on their bus. Like
Route
as far as
61.
me, if a
Airport
customer
terminal.
needs something on the
Pomona.
bus, I'll hold on to
Federal
it.
law
If I
requires
get off my
masks on
route,
board
depending on
and
if
it
I'm taking a
stops.
split or
No
something,
mask,
I'll
no
take it
ride.
with me. If not,
La
I'll
ley
leave the,
federal
the
requiere
whatever
máscaras
it
a
is on the
bordo
bus.
y en las paradas.
Because the customer
No
may
máscara,
come back.
no
It's just like
viaje.
with a bike. If I'm getting off my
Yeah,
route,
that's a good point.
I can't take the bike with me.
Right.
So I'll leave it there. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
So, are you saying like maybe he'll come back around this route?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So how do I know like what driver? Because I know
Route
that.
61.
I would just
Airport terminal. Pomona.
just kind of like
Federal law
ask,
requires masks on board
I got on
and
the one
it
that came at
stops.
8:52.
No
on the
mask,
60,
no ride.
61 from B&G Plaza.
La ley
I got on at
federal
7:52,
requiere
so I got
máscaras
here
a bordo
about
y en
an
las
hour
paradas.
later, pretty much.
No máscara, no
there
viaje.
30 minutes, so you can kind of like chance it like that.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
No worries.
All right. Anyway, I just wanted to document that. This is the P.O.C that I'm subject to, but I just wanted to ask her in general about what this third party, while this company is monitoring me, but also they actually do have a policy in the way that they're supposed to conduct themselves with regard to something as property, and that's a good point she made. Like if it was my bike, it's something like that. I left my entire backpack on that bus. And so, and as I documented, I'm the last one. I'm the only one sitting in the back of the bus. And he sits on the bus for the whole time. They walk the buses. Okay, that's what they do. And he doesn't say anything. So, I mean, I guess maybe he could have kept it on the bus or whatever. But anyway, this is, in other words, I'm just documenting what's an entity that's placing me under surveillance and is now in custody of my property. And they know it, okay? They know it. But it's 9:45 a.m., so I just want to document that as well. This is actually the African-American female who I got on the bus with her yesterday. Yesterday morning, I walked up, and she's the one that was driving Route 61. It's 9:45 a.m. This is P.O.C. License 8HQK483. 1479125. That is bus 1307, Route 15. And this third party, this van, 8HQK483, is driving in the turn circle with the rest of these third parties. Oops. Patrolling with Omnitrans. And did I read the license plate of Route 66? Let me see if I did not. But this is bus 1327, Route 66. They're monitoring as well. License plate 1. This is license plate 1370398. That's Route 66. That's monitoring as well. And bus 1213. That's Route 14. License 1234510. They're monitoring.
Some more, and it stops. No mask, no ride.
Property on the bus. Yeah, if I left, I know you guys left the bus or whatever, and I left my backpack on the bus. It wasn't Route 66, it was Route 61. But how do I get my property back?
If you go to the website, there's a link for the lost and found.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't see the link. I saw the phone number, but
You can also call them and they'll direct you.
Yeah, I know it's Monday through Friday though, and I just wanted to know, like, for
Transit
example, if I left it on your bus,
Federal law requires
and you walk the
masks
bus
on
and you
board,
see it, like, what do you
and
do with
stops.
it? You know what I'm saying?
No mask, no
Turn it in at
ride.
the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
Write up-
Ley federal requiere máscaras
You
a
said what?
bordo.
You write a report?
on what bus it was on, what
Okay.
time we found
No
it.
viaje.
Okay, so, okay, that's fine. All right, thank you. I just want to get the audible activity of these minions. Anyway, it's 9:47. That's the minion that's monitoring a Route 66, license 1370398. And it's 9:47. And again, just to confirm, he states they carry it and return it, and at the end of the day, they write a report. And again, as you're documenting what is the pattern of conduct underway, they're doing whatever they want to do with regard to my property. So, but like I said, this company is held to what is a procedure, a protocol. And by virtue of my being present, again, this driver is there for a prolonged period, and they're engaged in surveillance as well. So this is knowledge that you have while you engage in whatever conduct that you want to engage in. You're monitoring, and in addition to that, you were present for a prolonged period, even outside of the P.O.C. 1545798. You're present for a prolonged period, and you walk the buses. It's your job to make sure that there's nothing on the bus that would harm you or anyone else. For example, somebody hiding weapons. It could be a bomb, all right, that I left on that bus. And you're talking about what is knowledge of the fact that I left my backpack on that bus also while you're engaged in the P.O.C. So this minion is loitering. This is employee 3351, who is monitoring the entire time as I'm documenting. Again, I get off, he walks the bus. If you want to claim, oh, I didn't know that you left it. Well, you walk the bus and you do know that there's property left on there. And this is just common sense. You're engaged in monitoring. So you have what is, these are minions that know with regard to it being my property. But I just wanted to document what is their statements. 8KHG044 of an entity that's placing me under surveillance and is now in custody of what is my property. And this is relevant to that pattern of conduct as I remain subject to it. I am showing you what is the light source that's directly over my head. I am subject to surveillance. This is knowledge of who I am. This is knowledge of every property that, all the property that I own, by the way. And doing so while engaging in that pattern of conduct and with the people that say every single last one of those minions that are on the bus. So this is why you document as well, because everything that's occurring within that pattern of conduct is the same entity. There is no reasonable claim, nor shall there be any legally relevant, no legal claim as to any ignorance. And this is occurring within an ongoing set of specific circumstances that are relevant to what I'm documenting. So I just want to document that it's 9:49 a.m. and this is P.O.C. at what is the
the Fontana Metrolink train station. And that's in Fontana, California. This is P.O.C. This is bus number 2350. This is the entity amplifying plane activity. And this is at the Fontana Metrolink train station. It's currently 9:52 a.m. I was given the, I was directed to the 800 because it's in the bus book and it's online. It's online with regards to the number that you can call. And I was asking if there is any resource that's any more immediate other than what is Monday through Friday. But I was given the 800 number, so I just want to document that, which is in the bus book as well, and this number that I got online, which is the 909 number, and reference to and what I already figured, which is the lost and found. And this is, again, these are all fictions. It's a fallacy with regard to lost and found. You're subject to surveillance, and the entity is engaging in a pattern of conduct. And so I just want to point this out, 7KZY219. But you call it lost and found, but I'm subject to surveillance. And so this is the same thing, for example, when you go to your banking and you are assuming that you have privacy when you're dealing with your bank and your funds or whatever it is you choose to do with your money. And actually it's a fallacy. You don't have that privacy, and there is no anonymity. It's not lost. I'm subject to surveillance. And so I've been separated from my property by an entity that is placing me under surveillance. And so I'm going through those channels as though it's lost amongst an unknown, and I need to have it be found. I need to retrieve my property, but that's a fallacy, and I'm showing you that as well as I'm documenting this. And this is what is relevant to that pattern of conduct, that system of surveillance. All right, it's very informative. 39583T2. It's currently 9:54 a.m. I'm walking back toward the Fontana Lewis Library right now. And again, that was employee number 3351 as I documented. And as this bus driver did, this is another one. I didn't record her conversation. She's driving the Route 61, the license 1545. And I asked her a quick question. She gave me a bus book and the 800 number, 49063J2. She is getting off of her bus, which is what they do customarily. As soon as they arrive, they get up out of their seat, they walk the bus. They walk to the back and back to the front, which, by the way, the pattern of conduct is they're also in engineered light. This is pacing while they're engaged in the P.O.C. But this is their job that they're engaging in while that pattern of conduct is underway. All right, and I documented that before. They engage in this conduct. It's relevant to what they are doing while surveillance is underway as well. It is the same crossing of path, and it's in directed light. But they check those buses. All right, and this employee, again, 3351, he's engaged in prolonged maintenance of presence. All right, stopping the bus where I get off, where he should have checked the bus right there, because that's what they do. That's their job. That's exactly what this driver did. She gets immediately out of her seat. She's waking up a passenger. He's asleep on the bus. That's what they do. They walk the entire bus because, like I said, it could be something that's a threat, somebody leaving a bomb on the bus or something like that, worst case scenario. That's why they check them. And so he did not do that. And I just want to point that out. It's not only is it the P.O.C. as they engage in that conduct customarily, it's also that which it is part of their job of driving the bus, even if I was not documenting the pattern of conduct as it's underway. And this third party is loitering. He's monitoring me, and he does not. And that's what's relevant to that fact. Not only is he not engaging in this conduct, he's loitering, he's monitoring me, and he is maintaining custody of this property while you're engaged in surveillance, and not ignorantly so. Not ignorantly so. Okay, so I just want to point that this is all the common sense breakdown of surveillance as I'm subject to it, and now maintaining custody of my property. All right, and that's exactly what it is when you're subject to surveillance and you're engaging in what is the refrain from what you would ordinarily do as a part of your job. 4WEH510, and I'm standing right there. I'm standing right there outside of the bus because I'm continuously talking and giving analysis and reading of the license plates. And he's just sitting on the bus monitoring. All right, he's moved the bus after the other Route 61 bus moved. He should have already walked his bus. All right, and he doesn't say anything. So you're talking about where I was sitting. They're monitoring. You know exactly who I am. But not only that, I'm the one that comes out the back of the bus. You have to be unless you're sitting around in a bubble, which you're not, you should be paying attention. I'm the one that's sitting in the back of the bus. You know that's my backpack. It's very likely that it's my backpack that you found at the back of the bus. All right, this is just common sense. But like I said, I'm just pointing it out, and this is under all circumstances, regardless, is the P.O.C. It is the pattern of conduct, and that's why I documented that fake sun over me. So there's the common sense breakdown to what you're doing with regard to your job, and common sense attention that you should be paying anyway of people that are getting on and off of your bus with regard to your own safety regardless, common sense, but also it's relevant to the pattern of conduct that I'm subject to. All right, so license 8FJA 241. It is currently 9:57 a.m. License 5STD 655. Those are minions at Citibank who are group stalking a relevant position. License 7NXD 836. JBL 101, 5WHD 398, 8FTR 047, 6NCB 541, BK09 B28 paper. Fontana Police are group stalking. It's 9:58 a.m. At the same intersection. The entity is maintaining a light source as already captured, immediately covering it up. It does not change the pattern of conduct. License 1473359, driving a Fontana Police pickup truck. License 68172C3, 8WSP 378, 17544S1, 38526C3, 8CSH 398. And let me be clear, I just took a picture of what is Fontana Police group stalking, and this is the exact same conduct that the police officer was doing in the parking lot while I'm showing you the fake sun over the fire department. Stalking in the path, okay? And doing so in the same exact manner and alignment. They're present in the specific environment. The environment does not change. It is the ongoing environment where I'm documenting the maintenance of a fake sun, which is already established as a part of the record. It's not changing. And what this minion is doing in this pickup truck of the Fontana Police is the exact same thing that demon was doing as I was capturing video of the fake sun over the San Bernardino County Fire Department, the John Roberts Fire Station. That's what group stalking is. That's exactly what they're doing. 6W32176, 6W36261, 7MYX862, 8UDM989, 8WYU851, 7NWA562. License 6YGU351, 8SLT563. Learner and what is this? Library, group stalking at the intersection while the state creates audible activity of what is the sound of the train, which you cannot hear over here. 8SLT563 is group stalking, as I showed you in an image. That's group stalking conduct. Doing so at an intersection at the stop sign as I walk by, okay? While the entity creates in the environment the sound of the train, that's demonic. You cannot hear that train. Inside of the library or standing outside on the sidewalk outside of the library. That's called amplification. It is serving what is an ongoing monitoring system, and it is at the same venue where I just captured video of the fake sun that's over that venue. That's that is understanding what is that demonic environment, and that is the ability to pinpoint what is an actor to be prosecuted for that demonic activity. That's going to be the company Metrolink. Okay, that is using and engaging in that pattern of conduct while I'm at the Fontana Metrolink train station, engaging in what is the pattern of amplified audible activity, and that is a documentation to be attributed, even though you cannot hear the Metrolink train at the property of the Fontana Lewis Library. In the same way that the actual sun is not over the Fontana Lewis Library, it's not over the fire department, it's not over the Fontana Chamber of Commerce, nor would the actual sun be present for in excess of 10 hours over this property. It's 10:03 a.m. That's P.O.C. Yeah, I was gonna ask you, are you guys going to refill the paper towels? Where? In the bathroom? While you're in here cleaning?
I understand. What do you mean?
I said, are you refilling the paper towels?
Oh yeah, cleaning, you know.
It's 2:18 p.m. This is federal stalking in the bathroom and patrolling, and doing so with minors who are monitoring, creating activity while the entity is aiming directed light inside of the library. 2:19 p.m. Stalking with activity. Engineered light in the bathroom. This is a demon. Activity. This is a demon that's stalking in the bathroom making noise. activity. (2:20 p.m.) And I'm capturing what is the female. She's walking into the bathroom. You see her feet. This represents the people of the state. I don't even need that minion's face. They're all on surveillance cameras anyway, though. This minion is walking into the bathroom. This is a stalker that's going in as I'm up, manning the path, and is in the bathroom in position. First of all, and directed light is in the bathroom as well. Third of all, you have what is patrolling as the second minion enters inside of the restroom and dragging a trash can. This is a demon that's present on the grounds of what is a janitor who is engaging in sexual violence. I have also captured what is the directed light that is on the grounds around the perimeter of the library on the inside. The fake sun is over the venue, and I just got through publishing today another day of what is documentation. Well, not another day, but the documentation that I've gathered thus far. And this is P.O.C. Directed light is present while they are having what is called a book fair. Again, you're understanding what's demonic activity, what's the criminal system of surveillance, and Satan can call it whatever it wants. It's the same impossible light activity, which you're going to want to look at that. Filled with children, you got Spider-Man group stalking in the bathroom, crouching in front in relevant position, talking to a little child while they're in directed light monitoring with their demon-possessed parents who are in operation of communication devices while demons are patrolling inside of this bathroom. It's P.O.C. All right, while they call it a book fair, a book festival. It's entirely demonic. It's 2:21 p.m. and it's criminal. The state is monitoring. It's 2:21 p.m. This is P.O.C. Alrighty, capturing the fake sun that is on the opposite side of the same parking lot that I captured this morning at 9:07 over the San Bernardino County Fire Department. Those are the demons of the fire department that are right next to the Fontana Lewis Library. That is 9:07 that I captured. It's 5:57 p.m. And that light source is on the opposite side of the same building, just like I pointed out. And as I've already documented, showing you what are the close-up images of the sex offender. And this is the demon possessed. This is the people of the state who are engaging in sexual violence and doing so while chasing into bathrooms, engaged in that system of the system of surveillance inside of a private space and literally chasing one after another demon, engaging in demonic activity in a private space, intending to monitor with communication devices on behalf of the state. 8RPH295, 8LWA815, 22T5053, 7NKJ060, 8RNT453, 8PLG154. This is the sex offender, the African-American male who you see loitering, waiting for me to go into the bathroom. This is entirely predatory. What you see this third party doing. I'm standing in the hallway, I'm taking pictures, and I'm showing you what is the directed light, I'm showing you what is presence, I'm showing you what are demons, and there are demons that are with children, there are demons that are purchasing books, there are demons that are listening to Disney music, listening to NSYNC and Backstreet, all right? All manner of what is appearing on the outside to be cheerful and joyous, and that which is innocent with children, and it's the entirely opposite. Well, this is demonic activity that's underway, and this predator with license 8PLG154 is stalking in relevant position, waiting for me to enter in the bathroom, and as I do walk toward the bathroom, this is when you see him enter inside of the men's restroom, engaging in what is relevant positioning. This is a predator, and this is, be clear, this is the same conduct, this is the same intentions, this is the ongoing system on behalf of the government and with the people of the state who are of this condition demons in this engineered light, in this demonic environment where the fake sun remains from 9:07 to 5:57 p.m. All right, engaging in what is state surveillance while monitoring documentation. A very violent sex offender, engaging in violation of your privacy with knowledge of the fact that you are aware of it and are documenting it. That's what this African-American 8PLG154 engaged in and is routinely engaging in. I just captured his face, but I will prosecute him personally. But let me be clear, this is a prosecution of the government and the people of the state. 6XBZ266, 6WZG164, 6DFY974, and as I also captured, Allied Universal is present in relevant position monitoring. 7ETF823. 7PYM757, and demons engage in what is coming to the parking garage in order to create activity and to flee. 6TXT678 is one of those demons. All right, so this is activity follows. So I'm in the parking garage. You're going to have a bunch of demons that are engaging in what is maintenance of presence, getting in their cars, and they're monitoring while doing so. ICLOWNS 7HRJ008 9AGR200 CB 89B17 paper. 8RQU567. This demon 6VPC087. 6ZAK225, 8VXK785, 8WGF121, 8NMX647, 8RJV192, 8PGE271, 6NLH734, 6UOA147, 3PZW111, 8KJS601, 8SDA087, 8JKC451, 8AKG628, 8ATB463, 5XNZ576, 9AGR, oh, I think I read that one, 7HRJ008, in case I did not read the one, 6MLE661, and I think I read those, 6LIE962, CO95CO, 6WMR650, 2W87577, 7BNE634, 8WNA960, 7KRR634, 7EZG307, 7THX125, 7JAW997, 7WQR233, HNTMBLE, 7WHK869, 8RIH457. City of Fontana engaged in surveillance, sitting in their utility vehicles, lining the perimeter, stalking in the path, and doing so in plain sight, having no legal argument. This is the municipality engaged in surveillance. 7MZJ084, 7BPS834, 744661W1, PBP4599, Texas, 37485K2. 8LKT700, 5VBZ352, 8UQD171, 8KUA479, 8JUN847, 4YTE292, 7CKN949, 85110V2, 7BGM659, 7EQG623, 7SER600, 5WAM953. 7ROY999, 7AGR269, 8KHM851, 9AKK544, 8GVL152, 8WKG416, 8NCX462, 8XHT401, 7BWG089. It's 6:02 p.m. UHC 4063, that's Virginia. 4MQX 980. 7UBZ 474. That's audible activity of a demon on a microphone. They're monitoring. It's 6:03 p.m. by the way. License 7PP, hold on, I'll get that in a second, 5220982. License plate 7PQW672, 7UJC149. And looks like this one is 5USH212. Alrighty, the San Bernardino County Library, license plate 1545644, 8JAM762. License 5PLC 509, 6SKC108, 7EMR 835, 7LWS 663, 00776W2, 8EQB 862, 3VLS 083, 8VPD 635, 8TGF 550, 5VXT 502, 8MOV 597, 6N88 8WQK 583. Let's see what's been on there. And it's 6:04 p.m. Let's see. License 6N88195, 6STT228, 8UEB493, 7ZXW577, 6VHP496, 8YIP433, 7BCY626, 7HWB576, 32384H2. RKE035, 8HTL760, 8TUY799, 6YWH883, 8YPG910, and this demon over here, she was the one starting her ignition. Let's get this one. Sitting in the parking lot where I'm showing you the video of the fake sun over the same venue, she's group stalking in this parking lot. Her starting her ignition is her activity creation. In addition to her very heavy self person moving around in engineered light, her and her double chins, 91134C2. That's a demon, a very heavy one. It is currently 6:07 p.m. 8TLY895, 8RVB993, 8VLR385, 8TUY799, 7PVD220, 7ZPD452, 8YEG380, 8XIS066, 6TBG496, 7JVE521, 78LN179, 7ZBB538, 7UZF654, 5YKM984, 7GPT362, 7, I read that one already, 014FMA, Oregon, JNYXMSE, and 6DIH410, 6XHT142, see, 7, I think I read that one, 7PKE145, yeah. 8FTA145, 5VQN690, 6DIH410, see, 6DLF367, 7UJC149, 4TIY565, 7YON815, 59849Z1, 8WXA409, 8DYV499. And correction, that was not the city of Fontana. Not that the city of Fontana is not engaged in the pattern of conduct. It is. That's what the venue of the Fontana Lewis Library is, by the way. That's what the venue of the Fontana Eventually train station is, by the way. But it was not a city of Fontana specific vehicle with the city of Fontana logo on it. And I did read that license plate, and it was not a city of Fontana. So I just want to make that minor correction, but that's not removing them from the pattern of conduct. I was just identifying a vehicle. 6LYP650, 8YIS561, 8ZDG944, 7TTN953, 8YWTO94, 36231E1, 7MPR477, 7TRB775, 8KOJ001, 8KYY933, 6PTN480, 8TLY895, I already read that one. All right, Satan in position, ready to come down any street that I walk down. Crossing path, 6HTN809. I am walking beside what is the Fontana little center stage theater where the fake sun is right here over me, and this is over 8.5 hours. 9:07 a.m. as I'm isolating the P.O.C. I was here at the fire department. It's the same parking lot as the library. 7GKA457. That is 9 hours. Okay? And as I am inside of the library yesterday, as I captured that video outside of the library yesterday, you're looking at what is immediate movement with regard to my position. And again, movement as I move, not movement in any way in accordance with the actual sun. That is actually non-movement. That's called stalking with light. That's what it's specifically called. Yeah, I already read 8WQK. All right. So anyway, it's currently 6:10 p.m. 5JIS317, 6XCL316. All of these minions, as I documented minion stalking in the bathroom, the people of the state are being prosecuted as the sex offender that they are. License, CC33X78 paper, 8ZSV490, 89162Z2, 7TTN953. Ongoing obsessive stalking, as obsessive as the entity is by helicopter and airplanes and by law enforcement. They demonstrated, as I pointed out to you, what they're doing. The moment that they do it, you're paying attention to that. They're also doing it in a specific environment. It's not a coincidence. The stalking conduct with light, molesting with what is impossible light, that's always underway, that I'm able to capture everywhere, which is absolutely
an impossibility that it is even ever occurring. That's how obsessive the entity is in stalking and chasing into bathrooms, with knowledge of the fact that your whole secret unspoken system is revealed. That's a violent sex offender, going to any lengths. All right, the same with the molestation by directed light, demonic activity. 900MX handicap, 8ZNM203, 5KJL097, 8SHR460, and this is the framework for prosecution of the people of the state. 8WKW437, because that's exactly what they are, that's exactly what they do. 8YGY394, license 09620K3, 7XET454, 6TKZ867, 7XET454, 6004-8D3, 7BWC621 is monitoring with that loud demon. And so is Casa Barreto, directed light swiping across the ground while demon opens that door. A heavily documented venue. It'll be shut down after I prosecute it. License 68851C1. License CL344 handicap. Demons going inside of that venue monitoring. License 40807S2. They're patrolling one demon after another. License 14912A3, 5TNK015. License 5BGF384. 7HAX082, 8UVH623. 4EEF343. 8NRJ935. 6SKC132. Bus number 1301 Omnitrans is driving southbound on Sierra Avenue right now, crossing path. 8YYB746. Spectrum crossing path in a white van as well. 8VCR672. A Spectrum molesting. Spectrum's the company that is group stalking, is stalking in restrooms. That's exactly how the people of the state, under what is a name to be also civilly pursued in civil case, in civil proceedings, while the entity is acting through companies such as Spectrum, to be prosecuted as a sex offender, the perpetual sex offender, while it is group stalking under the name of Spectrum. License 8VCR672, and that's what I documented Spectrum engaging in the same way that it's chasing me down the street, stalking and molesting my person with this demon 988R611, CB31U78. 988R611, sex offenders, 7AVJ339, 8AUK795, 8VCR672, I read that one. These are demons that are group stalking, lining the path in front of, on Sierra, as I'm walking down the street. 8SJA548, 8ZZA184, 8CWD443, 6RIN027, 78970J3, 5PEV910, 5EKC384, 8TJD094, 8XWG120, and that's why the entity is going to be prosecuted. 7FFC191, that's the entity stalking by helicopter. 7KLP593, 7SNZ471, flying right here over the Sierra, where I'm showing you images of those group stalkers who are indeed lining the path. 7RNB368, that's what that criminal conduct is referred to as. While you hear a helicopter clapping flying over me, that is the prosecution of what are the people of the state. The San Bernardino County Fire Department engaging in what is interstate stalking, monitoring documentation while doing so, that is federal prison. All right, license 8RHH859. All right, that's how you are legislating that the entity stalking by helicopter is nothing other than ongoing confirmation of the ways in which you're going to prosecute and punish the entity that's acting on that government's behalf. You're going to federal prison for that. 7YSJ494, you will be prosecuted as a very violent sex offender that you are. 8MYX244, 8NHS468, 7UVV816, AC26N80, paper, 8SBX328. That includes Spectrum, who was a sex offender to be prosecuted as a group stalker on behalf of the government, engaging in what is specific forms of harassment while monitoring documentation, engaging in what is terrorism while the entity hovers over my head by helicopter. You will be reaching into companies and you will be subject to federal prison. You do not have a right to terrorize with that government. That government will be prosecuted and the people of the state will be prosecuted as well. You want to go to federal prison, you'll be documented and you can go there. You can definitely go there. Many will be going. 8VKT415, 7ZYK194, 8WVC978, 8KLP861, 7GJC549, 7KHU132, IEK326. That's a foreign license plate on the front of that car. 8KVR260, 28276R2, 7TJU766, 8RER690, 15MEU, 7JYU152, And right where you see me capture images of these demons, there's 2 vehicles there, and I'm capturing images of them, and you see this demon, she is stalking, and then you want to be bashful and cover up your face while you're being a stalker. You are a stalker. This is not possibly the sin. You are surrounded by that evidence. This is the P.O.C. And then they engage in covering up their face while you're engaging in stalking. Why are you ashamed to do what you're doing? Oh, because you thought nobody knew? You think no one knows what you're doing? No, they don't think that anymore. They're engaging in it in plain sight, and the entity immediately flies over my head by helicopter. That third party goes to federal prison. Do you understand that? That's how that works. 5YKC360. And this entity's been monitoring documentation for years. All right, and I documented that third party's license plate, and I also captured images of them. While the entity is threatening your life, you are losing your freedom. You go to federal prison for that. This is what the entity's been doing all day long and inside of the Fontana Lewis Library. That's why a fake send is remaining for an excess of 9 hours on the same block. License 6KWT879, 8RIJ703. That is the formula for federal prison. 8TSDJ94, I believe. Hold on, let me get this. You deport them out the country if they're not natural born citizens. 8TSD494 is their license plate. License 78954E2. Immediately following, the entity flies over by helicopter. Even so, when I'm at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts, the entity is stalking by helicopter. When I am remaining at the Hotel of Economy Inn, the entity is stalking by helicopter. When I'm walking down the street, all right, the entity is stalking by helicopter, flying directly over, flying around in circles, which is demonic pacing, doing so in the specific environment. 8FTE290, 7NXS956, 7FCR451, 07802U1. There is nothing separate or distinct from what is the entity flying directly over me as I'm documenting your license plate, your images, your presence, which is facilitating that ongoing threat to my life, including the fire department. License plate 1509105. You're talking about what is documentation for what is federal prison, the way in which you're going to be prosecuted. License 5YRP407. Okay, that's a lethal threat to the life of the targeted individual who's subject to such terrorism. And the people of the state, as you see them engaging in that obsessive chasing conduct, one demon after another, like I'm reading license plates, like that into a bathroom. That's a sex offender that is then terrorizing, and with the government that wants to terrorize you with helicopters. Yes, you'll go to federal prison for that. That's how you're going to address it, and it's necessary as a matter of justice. Pacing 8FLT675 with, 765 with a minor and the child. With a minor child in the vehicle engaging in that terrorism and that pattern of conduct. License 7FBT028. And like I stated before, and as I continue to document the ways in which the entity engages in the pattern of conduct that belongs to the government, a federal group stalking and monitoring, all matter of a violent, sexually violent and terrorizing conduct of monitoring, surveillance by the state that is also threatening your life and your liberty while doing so, and the entity engages in it with children. There's a reason why I specifically document that, because they are revealing, first of all, what is a threat to your life while the government's threatening by stalking by helicopter, and you're including children while you're stalking in the path with that government. That is a demonstration of, first of all, what is an intent and a desire, okay, very lackadaisical about threatening the safety of that child while threatening the life of another. 04046C2, it is a demonstration of what is a willingness to lose custody, and necessarily so as well. As I document the minions, that's how they're going to be prosecuted. Exactly what they're doing. 6YDR445, 8MCX279, 8NVE162, 8URE325. There is nothing passive. There is nothing that is in any way. 8UGR138, hold on, license plate 74673S1, 6RXL357, 6FFH782, 7BIS667, 8XPU478, BM47N30 paper, 8HIZ829. It's 6:20 p.m. There is absolutely nothing at all that is in any way secure about an environment where the government's engaging in this conduct, where demons that are bearing weapons are engaging in this heavy-duty stalking conduct and surveillance and threatening the life of an American citizen, engaging in what is literally the minute-by-minute ability to narrate a false narrative, to create a false narrative where they're engaging in criminally targeting an American citizen who is in any way threatening it by documenting it. You're talking about what is a threat to those minors
nonetheless, regardless of their condition, regardless of the fact that these are little children with their parents. 8WJV947, 8JLW548. I'm talking about how you're going to address the criminal conduct, the contribution to delinquency, to corruption, all right, inclusion in what is sexually violent P.O.C, inclusion in what is terrorizing conduct on behalf of the state, and all the ways in which you prosecute any other parent or guardian that's engaged in such child abuse, that's engaged in such criminal activity with minors, those under the age of majority. That's exactly what the entity is doing. That's exactly what I document. That's exactly why I point it out, because you're talking about what is going to be prosecuted in every other manner, because that's what the entity is doing. The entity is engaging in sexual violence, but it's demonic activity, and it's not impervious to be identified, and you're going to be prosecuted for that. You don't have a right to touch, just like any other sex offender doesn't have a right to touch with anything. 8BQC867. Moreover, serving to threaten your life, your safety. The government is monitoring, placing you under surveillance. You don't have a right because you're some demon touching with directed light, and it's entirely demented. Entirely demented. License 8PMH752, 8GWP718, and this is the pattern of conduct by the government. That just, again, what you heard clapping by helicopter, the government, while it does that, it provides what is the ammunition, all right, it provides what is the substantiation of federal prison for the people of the state. It is not too high of a penalty. It is absolutely necessary as a matter of justice. It shall be what is the grounds for prosecuting the people of the state. License 8SCV149. It is necessary as a matter of justice. You are listening by virtue of every license plate that I'm reading for ROT 087, the unlawful threat that the government is waging. The unlawful threat that the government is waging while you're in an environment that's entirely terrorizing. That's not the sun that's remaining over you all day long. That's terrorizing to the ordinary target individual. 6TSC350. And all you need is an ounce of common sense. An ounce of common sense to see that. All right, so you're talking about what, and then you've got a whole bunch of minions that are following you around, including in the bathrooms, while the government wants to hover over your head in helicopters and stalk around you with police officers. Every single method of that conduct by the state is subject to federal prison. Every single last one of them. It is a comprehensive system. They're acting in concert together. Okay, like I said, it's 6:23 p.m. I am at Fontana Metrolink train station right now. All right, group stalking at Nuevo and Orange Way. It is 6:26 p.m. This is the demon that's lining the path, monitoring with Omnitrans. License 1479509. That's Route 14. Who pulls out? Understand? Omnitrans. All they're doing is engaging in surveillance on a bus. They pull out and pull in based on what I'm doing, stalking with activity. License 6RWR598. Doing the same. This minion at Village at Sierra. Talking about combat veteran. This is audible activity under the fake sun. This is a demon. And the license plate is 6V66038. License 8WEZ575. License YZ33D99. License 8SFN911. And on Nuevo, they're all monitoring a demon at the opposite end of the street, sitting in the street with their hazards on. Okay, they're monitoring with, by the way, Omnitrans. They're monitoring together. This is a combat veteran, an African-American male with a big head minion, underage, in the passenger seat, and monitoring with a minor. That's what he's doing. It is, oh no, she don't look, well, I don't know, she looks young. She got a big head though, I'll tell you that. She looked like a little kid. She slumped down. But that may very well be a grown woman. This is, again, license 6V66038. They're slumped down in the vehicle, operating communication devices. They're monitoring. And the demon is using their hazards on the opposite side of the street, okay? So I just want to document that. At 6:27, and you hear them stop and start their music, they're focused on me while they do that. Alrighty, so I just want to be clear. This is an African-American couple sitting in this truck. And let me give you a picture of this license plate. Hold on. And that's audible activity monitoring with Omnitrans across the street. And not just Omnitrans, but that's where I'm sitting. And Omnitrans is, again, what are you looking at with Omnitrans? Oh, they're buses that are sitting at the train station, all with their hazard lights on. All right? They are stalking and engaging in surveillance. The fake sun is over this train station, 7MFV613. A demon at the opposite end of Nuevo has their hazard lights on, doing the same thing that these demons driving these buses are. And by the way, the light source that was over me as I arrived this morning at 8:47 a.m. remains over this train station right now. An absolute impossibility. That's a demon driving that truck, talking about combat veteran, and using audible activity to follow with noise making. That's what that is. Alrighty, it is currently 6:28 p.m.
No mask, no ride.
Bus number 1351, and that's documentation of a venue as well. Even if you can't get a minion's license plate, for example, if you can't get it, you can get the venue where they're at because they're all monitoring together. Okay? In the same way where a demon is molesting you with directed light, they're all engaging in molesting you together with regard to understanding the monitoring system. And that is prosecution of what is touching you. And it's a bunch of demons that are touching you together. They're monitoring together. Okay? And it is currently 6:29 p.m. While they engage in the P.O.C, it's also facilitation. And it is that which they engage in on a routine basis all together, everywhere that you're going. They're demons engaging in this. And it's going to be prosecuted as a sex offense. You are engaging in the same exact touching, violation of the person, and it is inherent to what is criminal monitoring with communication devices and this demonic conduct with this obsessive touching with what is not even normal light. It's not even naturally occurring light. It's not your headlights. It's a demon manifesting light. It's engineered light. All right? It's currently 6:29 p.m. Alrighty, and what these entities, this entity is doing, let me get this license plate of this third party. License 8. KUR 811-7VAE133. The entity that is engaging in what I just documented, this African American couple, for example, they're sitting in this vehicle, restarting music as they listen to me. That's how pathetic Satan is. All right. Like I said, you have what is, they're going to get credit for being that stalker too. The entity is engaging in what is blatant stalking right in your face. This is an unlawful threat. Okay. And this is why you are also addressing what is necessary methods of punishment. You are necessarily slicing down the system, and this emboldened method of stalking, it is public corruption that is no longer concealed. So the government doesn't have the permission to engage in what is interstate stalking. The government doesn't have the permission to do it through the people of the state either. Therefore, the people of the state do not have the right to be in your face threatening you while they're engaging in that criminal activity on behalf of the government. That's literally what federal group stalking and monitoring is. And it's bold while you're engaging in that with while the entity is documenting. While the target individual is documenting. It is an unlawful threat. All right. And so it is that which is waged by the government. It doesn't matter if that minion that's engaging in molesting you, following you to a bathroom, stalking with audible activity, engaging in monitoring you, just standing right in front of your face, monitoring you on a communication device with the government while they're like 4'2", you could crush them. All right. They're not a physical threat to you. That's not what you're looking at. That's not what you're analyzing. It's not based on, and it's not individualized. This is group conduct. It's conduct on behalf of the government. And that is an unlawful threat. It's a threat to your life. All right, and they represent the state, and they're not acting alone. You're talking about what are demons that surround you, engaged in ongoing harassment as an entity, prepared to engage in criminal tactics such as false allegations, criminal summoning, criminal defamation. It's an ongoing threat to every aspect of your being and your existence. This is an unlawful threat, and so this is what I'm speaking to with regard to the government. And these are minions that, like I said, you're doing it in plain sight right now. You're going to federal prison for that. As you're understanding what is the groundwork for what is that legislation. The government is doing it in your face by using third parties. Oh, no, you're not getting away with it. You're not. You don't get to do it outright. That's why you're doing it through what is a matter of public corruption, a concealed system. And you don't get to do it in that concealed manner either. It's not a secret anymore. It's unconstitutional. And that is analyzed as what is an unlawful threat, while a minion, by the way, and this is the reality because they're monitoring. Oh, you're monitoring documentation while you want to threaten somebody and stalk and monitor in my face. Okay, now it's even ratcheted, it's more escalated, it's exacerbated as law enforcement does that. That's exactly what they're doing. All right, so this is what I'm speaking to when I am talking about an unlawful threat. It is impermissible. It is an impermissible threat. That is a term of art with regard to what is federal prison. I mean, it's a straight up and down formula, federal prison. It is currently 6:32 p.m. This is P.O.C. Alrighty, it is currently 7:51 p.m. Getting off of what is Route 61, bus 2351 at 7:52 p.m. at Lebanon Hall, license 1545811. And the Ontario Police are engaged in the same exact criminal summoning upon arrival to Hope Boulevard. They are at what is the Shell gas station. This is relevant positioning to where I'm at. The entity is it's not just Shell gas. That is the relevant positioning. Includes Wendy's. It includes the AutoZone. It includes the Church's Chicken, the Cardenas, the minion that's driving the Ryder vehicle that's driving north of Euclid Avenue right now. This demon that's crossing path 8NBX032. The demon that is on the side of what is Andy's Burgers with their hazard lights on. This is ongoing demonic activity, and that is criminal summoning by the Ontario Police Department. It is on surveillance cameras of that Omnitrans bus with the license plate that I just recited. It's driven by what appears to be a Latino male.
And again, it's 7:52 p.m. The entity is maintaining presence at the Ontario Museum right now. They're in direct light. They're stalking in the path. They're monitoring with the Ontario police, who are creating substantial light while they're engaged in what is criminal summoning. Demons using those police vehicles to facilitate federal group stalking and monitoring. It's currently, again, 7:53 p.m. Demons on Emporia as well, using their vehicles. They're group stalking at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. Coming down transit to touch. And I have more than one shadow. This is the P.O.C. This is the criminal conduct that the Ontario Police Department is engaging in right now. They're monitoring with these demons. License 6WBP537, molesting. All right, this demon was down on Emporia. It's crossing path, and they are molesting. They're monitoring with the Ontario Police. License plate 85673Y2. Directed light along the train tracks. The demon is driving on that train tracks over there with a bright light. That's directed light. These demons are sitting in their vehicles over here on the grounds of the Ontario Museum, monitoring with Ontario Police. And that is Ontario Police. That's the demon that creating that light along the railroad tracks. These demons on the grounds of the museum, license AC28L73, that's paper, 5XGL705. And this is the entity that's engaging in stalking. Let me show you this. Alrighty, I went right into video at 7:54 p.m. You're looking at what is my shadow that is surrounding me. That's absolutely impossible light activity. You're looking at what are demons who are stalking with the Ontario Police Department. License 8KFC269 included. And my multiple shadows that are literally in a line around my person, while you're looking at what is a demon stalking with light in relevant position as I am walking through the parking lot to document these demons who are group stalking at the museum where it is that I sleep. And the entity, this is state surveillance, okay? And this is the entity engaging in what is a demon and a police vehicle who is creating substantial directed light. All right, so I want to be clear. This is stalking in the path as you're looking at that demon of the Ontario Police Department. That's criminal facilitation, and they are monitoring in the same way that they are criminal summoning while on the bus, crossing path. While I'm walking on the grounds of the museum, that's exactly what that police officer is doing, crossing path with light. It's entirely demonic. You're looking at what are my shadows speaking to what is directed light. This is a hallmark. This is called criminal summoning. And it is the documentation of those police officers, all those demons who are grouped up again on another night engaging in the same exact criminal conduct in police uniforms and police vehicles. Because this is the ceaseless stalking that the Ontario Police Department are engaging in. And that is, again, the documentation that's serving for not only federal prison of the people of the state, but the federal prison, the disbanding of the Ontario Police Department. License LMN2661 Texas 7RIS 199 8DSR 483. These are minions who are stalking in the same way you see the Ontario Police creeping across that train tracks. All they're doing is stalking. 8UNH038. It's called crossing path. 8YZY 748. License 7BNK 7BWK 163. 8YAW, I can't really see the rest of them. 8CNT 116, 8ZTB 027, CB, I can't see that one either. 6UNU 804, 3364, 9C3. 7JGZ 832, I believe. License, let's see, I can't really see that. The overweight minion that you see getting off of the bus at Lemon and Holt where I got off, she gets off while another Latino male gets on. She is group stalking at the Ontario Museum. All right, she's walking on the sidewalk, directed light is flying around. This is entirely demonic. This is what state surveillance appears as, just like I just captured in video. And she's group stalking on the sidewalk. This is the same property where I just captured video of my shadow was surrounding me on the ground. That's ongoing directed light. And you are doing nothing other than stalking in that environment. And you're stalking as an entire entity. All right. And there is heavy documentation. And by heavy, I mean hundreds of videos of that police department, the Ontario Police Department, engaging in this criminal system. And that is the same evidence that many of the Ontario Police Department officers, they're going to federal prison for that. This is very serious with regard to what is understanding the legislation that you're going to surround Satan with. You're going to bind Satan with while it's engaging in this criminal system. And it does it through and by the people who have no right to engage in presence on behalf of that government. Okay? You are engaging in what is conduct that's a threat to the life, and while you want to threaten the life of another, because that's exactly what you're doing in directed light, while stalking by police and stalking by helicopters and airplanes, and that documentation that surrounds you is the grounds of what is federal prison. All right? In that same light activity, the entity is stalking by commercial airline planes. All right, I've already documented Frontier Airlines, American Airlines, the Southwest Airlines, Amazon Prime, FedEx, UPS, all of these airlines that are engaging in this conduct that you're listening to right now in the same exact directed light, in concert with the same exact demon-possessed agency, the Ontario Police, who are right now continuously creating what is light activity by demons. That's what the Ontario Police Department are. They are demons that are currently in positions that they have yet to be released from, okay, snatched out of. Okay, Satan has no business in law enforcement under the name of Ontario Police. And that's exactly what's occurring while a demon is hovering over me in a commercial airline plane. And this is criminal conduct. It's currently 8 p.m. and that is following, by the way, while I am standing on the sidewalk of the B&G Plaza, the entity is not flying over the museum. While it's flying right over my head while I'm at the B&G Plaza. This is also occurring in what is the same exact specific environment. One that is not naturally occurring. It's impossible with regard to this light activity. That is the stalking conduct by what are demon-possessed plane pilots. They're literally flying around planes and they're stalking while doing so. And that's exactly what you're doing in that specific environment. And it is the ongoing pattern of conduct in concert with the demon-possessed Ontario Police Department. That demon possession is directly relevant to how this entity is going to be prosecuted for what is terrorism while they're engaged in interstate stalking. It is currently 8:01 p.m. and this was a day of what is the maintenance of a light source that is not possibly the sun from 9:07 a.m. I'm not even including the Fontana Metrolink train station at 8:47 in the morning. We can keep it to what is the same parking lot. The Fontana Police, excuse me, it is adjacent to the police department, but I was standing directly in front of what is the Fontana Fire Department, station number 71. I'm facing this building. I'm standing in the parking lot and the entity's light source that is not possibly the sun at 9:07, and I reminded you about what is analysis that already exists. My maintenance of presence in Ontario on Route 83 going to Chino, where I am literally moving past what is the Ontario Museum, and you see the fake sun that's going in the direction south to keep in alignment with me, which at the same time at 9:07, which I've documented on another day, March 15th, 2022 to be exact, where the entity is keeping the fake sun that's not going in the direction south. It's going in the direction east to remain directly over my head while I'm on Route 61 just then at that time, 9:07 a.m., preparing to be for the bus to proceed to the Fontana Metrolink train station. Today at 9:07 a.m., the same exact time, this is the light source and that's not possibly the sun. In addition to that, that's with regard to what is the analysis with regard to this ongoing incessant zenith, this mutual zenith that doesn't exist in Chino, California, on Euclid Avenue, and what is on Arrow Boulevard in the Fontana Chamber of Commerce parking lot, facing the fire department. There's no zenith that's going to coexist at the same time. There is no light source that's going to be over that parking lot, over that building. It's not going to be over my head. You have, in addition to that, is that same exact parking lot at 5:02 p.m. That same exact parking lot at 10:58 a.m. hovering over my head while I'm inside of the computer lab, looking out that window, and you see the demons of the Fontana Fire Department crossing path That's the video that I just captured the other day. This is all manner of placement of that light source all over the place at multiple, all times of the day. Okay, and so this morning at 9:07 a.m. until what is again the end of the day, this is 5:56 p.m. The entity keeping a fake sun, and that is from one side of the same exact property, the Fontana Chamber of Commerce parking lot, over the fire department, over aiming into, hovering, hunkering down into what is the Fontana Lewis Library, while I'm standing right there in front of the parking garage. Okay, so that's 9:07 to 5:56 p.m., 5:57 p.m. That is very, with regard to what is demonic, you need to understand that's entirely demonic. This is of Satan. This is absolutely impossible. That is under no circumstances the sun. And that is the documentation that is speaking to what I've been documenting for a prolonged period of time. And in this way, it is showing, for example, on and on, it's got the ongoing example over and over again, as I continue to reveal. That is not possibly the sun, by the way, that is remaining, in other words, this is not the sun that I'm documenting remaining over my head in Ontario, because while today it remained directly over the parking lot from 9:07 a.m. to 5:56 p.m., aiming directed light into the Fontana Lewis Library, directly over my head at the Fontana Fire Station, moving in alignment with me while I'm at the parking garage of the same parking lot, the Fontana Lewis Library. I'm right there I captured video right there at the fire station as I exited the library this evening. There is no sun that's going to be over the city anywhere on Holt Boulevard or Euclid Avenue, over Mercy House, the entity keeping the light source over the Starbucks, all manner of documentation over Economy Inn, the entity heavily documented engaging in this conduct, the Upland Public Library, where I am day in and day out before I started returning to the Fontana Lewis Library. All of this is that which is impossible to occur while the entity engaged in today from 9:07 a.m., 5:56 p.m. video documentation of what is a light source that remained over that same exact very small parking lot. All right, and this is in excess of, this is over 8.5 hours. That's an impossibility. That is demonic. Okay, it is not impossible with regard to my capturing it. Obviously, I captured it on video. The fact that I am capturing the impossibility is a reference to the demonic, and it is speaking to what is the exclusion of any reasonable suggestion that this is the actual sun that I continue to document day in and day out and have for a term of years, which I already knew, which is why I documented it, because it is within the pattern of conduct, maintaining a deliberately designed, artificially engineered, and I call it artificially engineered because this is of the demonic. This is not the natural environment that we learn about in our science books about the universe and the stars. This is not what that is at all, whatsoever. And so in that regard, it is referred to as what is fake. Oh, it's very real. This impossibility is happening. I'm capturing it on video, but this is not the actual sun that we learn about, that we know about, that you think is above you in the sky space, and it's not. And not only that, what I documented today is letting everybody else in the world know that that's not the sun over you. That's literally what that documentation that I captured yet again today reveals. Under these facts, is speaking to what the City of Ontario, what the Ontario Police Department are engaged in right now. As I capture video again with my shadow that's in a line literally all around my person, what the people of the state who are directly around me, surrounding me in that in that environment, while I'm coming from Fontana where I remain today, and you have a light source that remained right over that parking lot, over that building, over my head, in that at that specific address today. It is to the exclusion of everything that I've documented in the City of Ontario, including the fake sun over the Ontario Police Department, by the way. With regard to what is documentation, this is speaking to, again, while the entity engages in this P.O.C, you're understanding what is the very substantial grounds of federal prison and the ways in which you're going to prosecute and punish the people of the state as they engage in this criminal system, which is a threat, an ongoing threat, an ongoing emergency, as you see this very unstable psychopath that is a demon. This is a demon-possessed stalker that's in that police vehicle that you see. He is tracking, or he or she is tracking my steps and going haywire with what is light, stalking. You're literally looking at Satan. That's literally what you're looking at in that video as I'm capturing it for you to witness. And I'm showing you what is no question about the fact that this is Satan that's driving this vehicle. You're looking at what are my shadows that are in a line all around me. This is absolutely demonic in every regard. You're remembering what I captured today from 9:07 a.m. The fake sun is remaining over me up until, which I document again, not only at 5:56 p.m. at that same property of the fire department. It's just on my right side, which is supposed to be the west. And this morning it was supposed to be the east. That's not the sun. as it remains directly over me. That's not the Son, and that's demonic. All right, and you're witnessing Satan in operation amongst a people, and those people include the Ontario Police Department, and they're going to federal prison. All right, zero tolerance for that whatsoever. And that is an ongoing threat to the life. And the Ontario Police Department have also demonstrated that. Repeated acts of kidnapping while they are engaged in what is the fictitious exercise of authority under the law, while they are demons engaging in state surveillance. That's what this ongoing documentation has already established, and what I'm continuing to show you with regard to what is the context. Let me go to Fontana and let me show you what they're doing in Ontario, what I've already shown you. Because I can do it again. I can document it again tomorrow because it's a pattern. And the fact that you're capturing that pattern, it's that which the entity is engaging in, and it's an obsessive stalking system. All I have to do is do something different, and I'm going to show you, as in go extra early in the morning, and you remember what was 6:30 in the evening at that address? All I got to go extra early in the morning. That's not the Sun. It's impossible. It's not the Sun when I arrive there in the afternoon, and it's there after 6:30 in the evening. But I'm going to give you an unmistakable visual of what it is that you are looking at. It is Satan. Okay, I will go there, be there at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to show you that's not the Sun. It is absolutely impossible. You are looking at Satan. This is Satan that's present in the environment, Satan that is present through people. Okay, and so you have what is referred to as demon possession, and that's exactly what's on that officer that is engaging in what is all manner of craziness with light, obsessively stalking, group stalking on video. As I continue to document, that's what they're doing. They're at third-party facilitating venue, Shell Gas, focused on me again. And you know why? They're inferior demons, and they are literally inferior because you are a stalker. You are literally following. That is the definition of stalking. You are inferior while you are in this position, engaging in the wasting of all those resources. Well, it's not a waste because it's on me, and I am all manner of what is a threat because I am literally binding Satan and calling it out. And I'm going to prosecute it and make an example out of it. But let me be clear with regard to taking a big picture, look at it, big picture analysis. You have police that are wasting resources and time. You should have something important to do. They are stalking one person, me, all of them together. So like I said, with regard to what is the reality of what is Satan, you can have thousands and thousands of, this is just a spiritual truth. You can have thousands and thousands and thousands of inferior minions, because that's what they are. Satan is a loser. Satan is all of his thousands of resources equal loser. Okay, just because you have a lot of them does not make it strong. Okay, you have a lot of losers. And in this circumstance, I am not playing with regard to, I am exceedingly serious. In other words, I won't speak in the vernacular. I am exceedingly serious with regard to what shall be the creation of uniform policy in order to protect what is the life of the targeted individual who is subject to this surveillance system, which is entirely demented. Demented by a government is a lethal threat to your life. It is absolutely unlawful. The surveillance in and of itself, but you're talking about what's of Satan. These are unstable criminals that are stalking me in helicopter. That's the government. You're going to federal prison for that, okay? And it's necessary to protect the life of that American citizen, all right? They are showing how much of a threat that they are while they demonstrate this unstable mindset. You are not a normal person. You are not stable while you're engaging in that conduct, while you are of that position, engaging in that level of such reprehensible conduct. Okay, you're not stable. All right, and it's not just stable. I'm giving you the terminology. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. You literally have the spirit of death on you, and it is manifesting in a way that is demonstrating you are unstable in your mind. You know exactly what you're doing. It's evil. This is not insanity such that you don't know right and wrong. This is why the entity flies off by helicopter and immediately shuts up by train the moment that I start documenting it. Okay, this is why they ratchet up that maniacal level of activity as I start documenting it. All right. This is why they engage in more of the conduct as I start documenting it. This is Satan that is in real time demonstrating hostility. This is evil. This is that which is wicked. It's twisted and demented, but it's also criminal. And that translates into a prosecution, a very real prosecution, where the people of the state are worthy and shall be subject to what is federal prison as a matter of justice. You don't have a right to threaten the life of an American citizen as an individual. You certainly don't have a right to threaten the life of an American citizen on behalf of the government who is engaging in surveillance by and through you. Okay? And that is a threat to the life that you cannot quantify. There is no other way to confront it or address it or to legislate around it other than you're talking about what is federal prison. It is absolutely necessary. Absolutely. And the government is demonstrating that. The demons of the Ontario Police Department are demonstrating that. That video that I just captured of the Ontario Police and the people of the state, all of them demons, is speaking to what is lawlessness. It is speaking to what are
uh, animals that are on the loose, engaging in what is unthinkable, unfathomable criminal conduct. It is criminal law. This is interstate stalking. They are in violation of the law while they are engaging in this. But they're not just criminals. They are of the most unstable, of the most delusional. You're talking about not just, you're talking about one that is far, far away from any sense of normalcy. And your condition, which you seek to harbor, you seek to conceal it, and it's not concealed. It's shown through your conduct. It's shown through your presence in that environment. And it's also that which is very much of a real threat while it's relevant to the criminal system that the police are engaging in. Okay. And so that's all that is relevant. That is all that is revealed in that video. All of that is speaking to the way in which you're going to prosecute and punish the people of the state and what is necessary as a matter of justice with those demons that are within police departments. Okay. It's currently 8:14 p.m. And that's a video that I captured upon exit of the Fontana Lewis Library. While the entity is keeping a fake sun literally over a specific parking lot in Fontana for an excess of 8.5 hours. There is no light source that would actually be the sun under any of the addresses that I've ever documented. And why? Because that's supposedly the sun that's in the sky. What else is that? It's not a balloon. The entity is engaging in stalking with a light source that you are not supposed to question. You are supposed to be under the presumption that that's the sun. By virtue of what the entity is stalking with, it is the what logically follows is that the entity is and has been stalking with a light source that is under no circumstances possibly the sun, both because it remained over that parking lot for an excess of 8.5 hours, and also because the documentation where it is elsewhere, it could not possibly have been the actual sun, while today it remained over the Fontana fire station to the Fontana Lewis Library for an excess of 8.5 hours. Which is not brand new. I've been documenting this. This is the analysis that goes behind it. And it is not just that. It is speaking to every actor that I continuously document. All right. And you're talking about what is understanding demonic activity. While Ryder, Amazon Prime, and third parties that go out of their way, such as Aramark Corporation, who engage in what is harassment by virtue of their presence in that environment, it is entirely intentional. It is the communication of an unlawful threat. It is relevant to the ways in which you will be prosecuted. The people of the state are subject to federal prison. That's a threat to your life. All right. And this is the entity that is monitoring documentation while listening to what is the creation of legislation that's going to surround you and affect you. You continuously engaged in that conduct. You're surrounded by evidence, and that's directly relevant to the ways in which you're going to be prosecuted and what you self-suffer. Reaching into a company and holding them accountable is absolutely necessary, where the government is using those company names and those logos to place you under surveillance and communicate a threat to your life. Okay. And that's exactly what you're doing while you are in that specific environment, while the entity engages in stalking by law enforcement in that specific environment, hovering over your head by helicopter and airplane while you're in that specific environment, and documenting the people of the state that are doing so on behalf of that government. Yes, you will be reaching into companies that are necessarily held accountable, and that is to the extent of what is federal prison. All right. And also held liable civilly. All right. And with regard to what is federal group stalking and monitoring, there is not a way or a method. You cannot quantify, in other words, the level of harm that the people of the state through these companies are engaging in. Oh, but you're going to try. We're going to address it. All right. But you're going to, in other words, drain the pockets. All right. And that is necessary as a matter of deterrence. It's currently 8:16 p.m. I am at the Fontana, excuse me. That's funny. Not there anymore. I'm at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. I'm laughing because I so heavily documented Fontana today. And then when I'm in Fontana, I'm speaking of what is Ontario because I document them so heavily ordinarily. So anyway, I am at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts, and that is just the ongoing analysis when you're understanding, again, the pattern of conduct is already established. This is what the government is doing is already known. What the state is doing, what these demons of the Ontario Police Department are doing, what the people of the state are doing. It's already established. Okay. You're talking about what is understanding legislation that I hereby advocate. That is already designed, and more so, okay? But I've laid out what is a template, a framework for how you are able to, first of all, identify what you need to know and is relevant in a court, because this is interstate stalking amongst a demon-possessed population, which is terrorism, all right? And it is based on what is the criminal conduct of the government. It's not premised on any religious right. It is premised on what is surveillance by the state. And it is relevant that the entity is engaging in what are entirely satanic methods of placing you under surveillance. It is legally irrelevant for somebody claiming that they're not a demon. Nobody cares. And actually, yes, you are. It's already established. And you cannot even address why a light source, how a light source that's in the sky, nobody can paint that up there. Nobody can put that up there for an excess of 8 hours. And again, that's why you document, because this is years and years of ongoing consistent documentation of what is showing a continuity of purpose. And this is of the demonic, and the government acting not ignorantly, fully in compliance with what are the deeds of Satan, acting on, doing the bidding of Satan. And it is demonic activity that is criminal. All right. The government is a puppet of Satan. In other words, I hate to break that to you. These are the times that we are in, but this is not a sermon. This is speaking to what is the prosecution of that criminal system. All right. And Satan is right there at the forefront. Satan is to be dragged under the name of what is the state of California. OK, Satan is a sex offender. Satan is engaged in terrorism. Satan is engaged in what is heavy duty stalking. And it is for purposes of what is interstate stalking, surveillance, in violation of your constitutional and human rights. All righty. It is currently 8:18 p.m. and this is P.O.C.
Documenting at 9:07 p.m. the entity, as I documented last night. This is exactly what the entity was doing all night last night, and what it has been doing. I just captured it on video. This is stalking. The entity is engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring by helicopter. The entity engages in what is activity creation under the method of what is helicopter activity in order to then communicate a threat to let you know that the entity is present by helicopter flying over you, which is what the entity did directly above my head in Fontana on Sierra Avenue, while the fake sun was over my head as well, while I'm documenting the images of the people of the state who are group stalking at that location. And you can hear the entity stalking by helicopter. This is the people of the state who are subject to federal stalking, monitoring and threatening you with that government that is engaging in such methods of terrorism, including stalking by helicopter. And this is what the entity is continuously doing. And in this video that I captured at 9:07 p.m., the entity is doing so in that specific environment. This is engineered light that is appearing on what is that is upright on the wall. That's not coming from any light source that's like a street lamp or any light that's coming from any lamp above any sky space. You're looking at what is the directed light that's touching the museum. In other words, there's not any light that's reaching horizontally that's going to create the enlarged size of the wall, excuse me, not the wall, but the enlarged size of the columns that you see on the wall, the shape of the shadows of those columns that are along this south side of the museum. That's directed light that's being aimed from a distance that's horizontally. That's impossible light. That's directed light that you're looking at while the demon is flying in a helicopter, stalking in relevant position, crossing path. Okay, that is another iteration of the same stalking with directed light conduct that the demon, that the Ontario Police Department that you saw in video was stalking, group stalking with directed light, and it's demonic. The entity is doing the same thing while you're looking at what is my shadow that's all around me on the ground. That's directed light. This is an ongoing demonic environment. It's serving what is monitoring with communication devices. And this is exactly what the entity was doing last night, as I documented this morning on this podcast. The entity engaging in what is ongoing stalking by helicopter, which is the very pattern of conduct that the people of the state are engaging in. And this is the criminal system that's ceaselessly underway. And the entity is continuously stalking and creating this method of activity creation. All right, it's currently 9:10 p.m. That's what I captured on video. And the entity is not going anywhere. You're looking at the state flying over me by helicopter. It's not going anywhere. It's merely crossing path, engaged in ceaseless stalking in that manner. 9:11 p.m. P.O.C.